Yes, people, big up to all of you, and welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show, specifically another match review on Chelsea Perspective. I hope you all are doing well. Without wasting much of your time, let's get straight into the show. Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show. I hope you all are doing well. Today, as promised, I did promise you people that if Chelsea beats, if we get to beat Bournemouth, that I would do a cash giveaway, and it's gonna be, yeah, interesting. Let's see who gets to win it today, and I wish everybody good luck. Around 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes into the show, we will do that. But more importantly, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. And as usual, I'll first of all say hello to those in the chat before we move on. And yeah, I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. As for me, that's what I do. I live the blue life, and that will not change until the fat lady sings. Let's get it on in the chat. We have the first person we have in the chat today is Brianna Rahayu, Contender FC. You promised you were going to change your your display name if we get to beat Bournemouth. That has happened, so I'm waiting to see what you change it to. Big up yourself, coach. Between can you sing Super Frank? Nope, I'm not gonna sing that. He did well yesterday, but not to the extent where I'd say I'm gonna sing that for him. And also, if you're watching it, but for any reason you're not able to participate in the chat, we appreciate you. You watching alone does provide great value to the community. We sincerely do appreciate that. But if you can do us one more tiny bitty favor, take a second to drop a like on the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. And hopefully you help drop a like on the stream for us to help us reach up more people. And we'll have the link to the membership link pinned at the top. It costs just $2.99, and that helps us continue with the project we started last month called Project Stay in School to help us support our students. So we move on from that quickly. Here we have Bobby Fairview, big up Kachila, bless up the channel. Finally, with salvage, with some self-respect. Yes. I guess that's a delicious comment right there. We're staying up. Like a lot of people were saying yesterday, we're not going to get relegated. And to be honest, yeah, I've been concerned for a long time now. This says hello, coach. Hello, Bobby. So we are going for an entertaining end to the end of the season. In what regards? I'm guessing you're hoping that there's nothing to play for right now, or you're thinking the thinking behind this comment is that you think we have nothing to play for, and that Frank Lampard will most likely, just go for it, just play beautiful football. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think a win out of 7 attempts isn't good for his coaching resume. I think he tried to win the remaining games. I hope you understand that. And Jerry Z, my bro, said it's that time of the yay. And as happy as I am for avoiding relegation, the fear that Lampard won a game might tempt the clown owners to offer him a 5-year permanent contract. I don't see that happening. You've heard Frank himself say it. You've heard, and we're told he's there as the interim manager. No matter what happens, he doesn't stay for a long time. And here's the thing, he hasn't actually done a good job. Even if he wins the remaining games, you cannot argue that he's done well. I get it. I understand it was a risk in the first place for him to have accepted to take the interim position. He knew so much his career, coaching career. He put that on the line, to be honest. And I must say, I respect him because every time we lose a game, if you listen to him or if you see him speaking during post-game interviews, you could see that he's suffering. At least that makes a whole lot of difference for me. Francis Winters says, big up to you too, Francis Winters. I hope you're doing well. Yes, people, keep smashing the like button. Let's try and get it to 100 as soon as possible. The likes do go a long way. Thank you for all your support. Sincerely do appreciate that. And if you're one of those in the chat, if you know, you can get the link to the sister channel or share so that people can join that. This is hello, just saying hello to Jerry there. This is Kingsley Chinaweza Dalawan. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. He says, happy Sunday from here to all the Chelsea fans. And God bless you all. God bless you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. Up to Chelsea, Beniza Abumne, man, one day, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully soon we'll get to announce you as one of the writers. I think you're doing well. Let's see. Hi, mate. Trolling Lampard, not at all. It is about the owners and their history of baffling decisions. So I fear if we win another two, he might give Lampard a long-term contract. It is my legit fear. I understand you're concerned, genuinely concerned, but I don't see that happening. Remember, I told you that it will be one of the biggest mistakes. It will probably clearly show us that they're actually not paying attention. Then that's when I'd start saying they seriously do not know what they're doing. Coach, your computer takes a long time to warm up and boot. Thank you for sticking out for me. That's not the case. I wake up 2 a.m. sometimes 1 a.m. to do other stuff, prepared for the show and everything, not just the computer. If I'm not able to do research the previous day, then I'd have to do the research on the day of the show proper. But that's not the case this time. Usually, remember, we stopped doing shows on Sundays, but we had to do this because we missed a few days when I traveled. But thank you for sticking up for me. Nightbot is a machine, so do not worry about responding to whatever I says to you. Coach is warming up the sidelines. He's excited to come in today. As always, if I'm that excited, I should have come on earlier. Let's go. Ebenezer, keep screaming that, brother. And if you're a moderator, keep reminding people to keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I'm sure you all know that. Morning, Coach. Morning to you too. And up to Chelsea. Yep, I agree with you. Let's see what else do we have here. Mudryk was brilliant yesterday. Needs a better decision in the final third. But I am really worried about Dacho Fofana. Why is he not in the first team? I'm not worried about Dacho Fofana. I think he gets his chance. I can't just jump to conclusions saying that he's done. Plus, in the case of Nani Mudryk, when my bro from the Madiba land, Tabeho, said on Twitter that Nani Mudryk is just too selfish. The question I asked him was, how old is he? I think it should be 19, 20 or so, at most 21. At that age, that measure of selfishness is expected. I think as he matures, you start to see less and less of that selfishness from him, if that makes sense. Let's see, what else do we have here? Big up, the beautiful game. Big up to you, brother. Big up to everyone who predicted a win yesterday. Well done with the tapping. Big up yourself, Coach. Big up to you too, brother. Which means I owe them a giveaway today, so we're gonna do that. And if it gets into the second hour into the show and I haven't talked about the giveaway, please remind me. Otherwise, I will forget. Big up, Blues. Nice day today. Yep. Giovanni Jafta, enjoy. My bro, the Bobby Smoky Sickness, always nice to see you. Big up, Coach. On my way. Okay, see you when you have the time to join. This is Frank needs to forget coaching. That's how I see it. Yeah, even though we won a game yesterday, and he did well with the changes and everything he made. I think he did well. The setup was good. He understood the team better than all of us. As an outsider, I was concerned that our 4-3-3 structure will be an issue or present a problem if you prefer, because on occasions where we've tried that structure, there seem to be so much confusion on the pitch that the players don't know what positions they're supposed to be occupying. Frank needs I think the same too. No disrespect to him. Hello, just saying hello. Lots of people were confident that we're going to win. My bro Jesse, I remember some other people also in the chat yesterday during the pregame show was saying confidently saying we're going to win. Smash the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're at 19 likes. We should be doing better than that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's get the likes all up. This says Havertz offered nothing. Datro should be given the last matches of the season. Here's the thing. I think Lampard will start the players he feels like will help us get a win. Like I said, if you don't feel like so much is at stake here, then you're wrong. At least from Lampard's own perspective, from his coaching career's own perspective, I think he'd want to win the remaining of the remaining games because, winning 1 out of 7 attempts isn't good enough, no matter how you see it. But let's move on from that one to this. Kachula, you're still giving the owners the benefit of the doubt that they still know what they're doing. I haven't said anything that's close to that today. But do I think they know what they're doing? I think they feel like they know what they're doing, but they've made mistakes, and that I will always say, they've made a couple of you could say, some catastrophic mistakes, if you want to phrase it like that. But I want to move on from that because the truth remains they mean well. My only concern is that I don't want to see them keep making a big, high-profile mistakes as such that can, that has led to us finding ourselves where we are today. And it's nothing. It's nothing to write home about, for lack of a better term for that. Let's move on. Let's see. Chelsea needs a clean sheets. We do need to win games too. Lukaku needs to come home next season. Lukaku, Broya, Fofana. Do we need to buy a striker? Don't think so. Bringing Lukaku into the conversation is something that's concerning to me. I don't know how the fans. I think he will further divide the fan base. We're already divided right now on so many fronts. So Lukaku coming back, I don't think will help the situation. I think it will worsen the division within the fan base. I don't think it will make sense, but unfortunately for us, Inter doesn't want him. So he has to come back to us. Then the owners will decide what to do with him. And given what we've heard a few days ago, that Pochettino feels like he can bring out the best in Lukaku, who, if we're being honest, it wasn't like he was the worst player we had when he before he left on loan to Inter Milan. It was just the interview that ruined everything. I know he struggled a bit, but the interview didn't help matters. But I really would like to move on from that. Unfortunately, Lukaku doesn't differ from the good old phrase "elephant in the room." He's one. You can talk all you want about Chelsea. There's hardly the possibility of speaking about Chelsea without at some point mentioning Lukaku. I don't think it's possible, really. Please, no, Lukaku should not be permitted to return. Kidman will have problems. He will cause a lot of problems. But I want to move on to that. Please, a Newcastle win will be a fitting end to the end of the a fitting will be a fitting end to the weekend to end Arteta's one and only shot in his life for the title. I'm going to say Arsenal. I don't have anything against Arteta personally. I just don't want Arsenal to win the title. That's all I'm asking for. My greatest wish this year will be for Arsenal not to win the title. We definitely don't need more strikers. Plus, Mudryk can do that. Havertz can do what Havertz does on a good day. He can play as a striker. I don't know how good he'd be. I don't know how well he'd be able to fulfill that role. But Tonelli should be given a show as well. Like I'm saying, I get how you feel. You guys feel like because we're safe now, you expect Frank to start giving the youngsters opportunities. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think a lot of them will play. If he feels like, even if he feels that, if he gives that player a chance, that will still be able to get all 3 points. Look, his coaching career is still at stake. One win from 7 attempts isn't good enough, and he knows that. If you're if you're a club and you're trying to hire a manager and Frank happens to be one of the candidates you're interviewing, if you look at his record and look at how we lost 6 games in a row, and yeah, the seventh one, that to me, I will not hire him just because of that. And even if he ends up winning the remaining games, I'd look at things. I'll start looking at things from Everton to this point, why he lost his job at Everton and all that. His first stint as Chelsea manager. All this, consider all those things before deciding whether to hire him or not. So yeah, I think his priority will be to win the remaining games, and I still think he believe deep down that we have good enough squad to beat the teams we have left to play in the league. So I don't think the fact that we're safe now, mathematically safe, we're not going to get relegated. I don't think that guarantees the youngsters an opportunity in the team. Let's see what else we have here. Win the remaining games with Havertz, coach. I don't know. I didn't say what player he's going to select specifically. I'm just saying he will select players that he feels can help him win the remaining games. I did not say he must select Kai Havertz. No, that wasn't what I said. I can do better up front. Havertz is you don't have to use the word coward, really. Just say if you feel like it's not good enough to be part of the team, just say it. That people say is being played out of position. They're right. His position is on the bench. I think this is not the first time I've heard that from you, O'Neil Diaz. Thank you for saying that. We actually won a game. Let's see, what else do we have? We did. And Dr. MK79 to say that. How many points Chelsea need for Conference League? I don't want us to end up getting any European participating in any European competition in the coming season. I want us to concentrate in the league and all the cup games. I think that will help us quite a lot. We'll have 2 cup games to play for, the FA Cup and what's the other one called, the Carabao Cup, and then the league. I think we may well see a repeat of the winning run on the Antonio Conte, where the previous season we missed out of the Champions League. We did so bad we missed out of the Champions League, the next edition of the Champions League, and then we had just the league and the cup games to play the following season. I think that was really good. That was one of the reasons why you can't argue Conte was able to pull off that. You can say he was able to win the league with us that year. But we move on from that. If you're in the chat, I'm going to ask you this question. What do you think? How do you think we were able to beat Bournemouth yesterday? I want to get your thoughts. Do you think it's France? I know some of you will say, no, it's just the players. And then had we lost the game, some of you will still say, yeah, it was the players too. But I think we ought to give Frank some credit. Lots of credit, actually. The selection was perfect, and he chose a structure some of us didn't believe will work. I myself included. I was my concern was that my only concern on the day was the structure of 4-3-3, because all the time on occasions where we've tried playing against oppositions with that particular structure, we've witnessed disjointed display from the players. So your thoughts? Why do you think we were able to beat them? What are your observations? You let me know in the chat, and it'd be interesting to see what you'd come up with. Coach, I saw Mudryk, I saw Dembele when injury free, but he needs a good coach also. If Pochettino emerges as the new coach, I think he will help Mudryk, become that player we'll all see he's capable of becoming. He's an excellent player, and I've known before time that he doesn't shy away from taking on opposition players. He's very direct. He just needs, coaching. Let's just phrase it like that. And I'm not concerned with some people were highlighting the fact that he was a bit too selfish, and that's very common with players at his age. So I'm not concerned that as he plays, as he matures as a player, would start seeing him being less and less selfish, and more of a team player. And something else you must bear in mind, I think, as he matures, you also start to become, you can say, more flamboyant on the pitch as he is right now. The more he becomes more of a team player, the less you see him trying to dribble all the time, if that makes sense. Due to Chilwell's injury, the nailed status list of Lampard is updated. Henceforth, Kepa, Thiago Silva, Kante, Gallagher, Havertz, Mudryk, Madueke, you can fill the rest. I get it. The question I just asked you is, how do you think we were able to beat Bournemouth yesterday? What did you think? What happened? What are your observations? I want to see that in the chat. And like I said, it'd be interesting to see what you come up with. So let me follow what you have there. And don't forget, 1 hour or an hour, 30 minutes into the show, we will do a giveaway. As promised, I did promise JC, if we win, if we beat Bournemouth, then we'll do a cash giveaway. And this says Madueke is the next Dembele when injury-free, but he needs a good coach. I think he'd be, I think from what I'm seeing, actually, he'd be a better player than Dembele. That's my belief. He's younger, and look what he's doing at his age. That's just what I believe. Chelsea players getting injured is bad, but sometimes that's the only way other players get a sniff. Shout out to Badiasbile. What a player he was. He is, and how well he did yesterday. He was just brilliant. And something most people don't give him credit for is his passing ability. He's got an excellent passing range in him. His ability to read the game, like I did I cannot stress that enough. I did say that quite a lot during the pregame show. He reads the game so well. He's not the quickest, but he's also quick enough. And his ability to read the game makes up for the fact that he's not the quickest on the pitch. And really, he's excellent. Even before we signed him, I did mention how what I noticed from whenever his area clearances, you can say more than 70% of the times, when he clears the ball on the aerially, he usually finds his teammate. He doesn't just, nod it forward and just as a clearance. I think he's an excellent player, and that was why I was shocked to hear that comment from Frank Lampard during his press conference. It turns out something happened, and he ended up starting. But what Frank said was that he's close. I wasn't sure what to make of that comment from Frank. I was really infuriated. I couldn't believe he said that. That may well have been him not wanting to give away who was going to start there, or who was going to pair Thiago Silva as, in the center back row. But we move on from that. He's an excellent player, and the good thing is that he's going to be here for us, with us for a while. I think playing a 4-3-3 back-to-back helped them to be more fluid. And the training must have helped the cause. I think that's a solid argument. That may well have been the case. Whereas there's no way to tell, but I think it's a good observation. Playing it in 2 consecutive games may have helped. I was really concerned, but it turned out it was a good option. Gallagher played in his favorite position, but apart from the goal, he was so poor. Here's the thing, say what you like about him. Apart from the goal, he did quite a lot. He pressed well. As much as I don't think he was one of our best players on the day, I think he was, give him credit. That goal also started everything for us. That goal, you could say, was the reason we started playing with a lot more confidence than we started. So you give him credit. It was a perfect header. And he didn't just, on occasions where, like we've seen from some of our players, just nod it down straight to the goalkeeper's, straight into the goalkeeper's hand. But he flicked it towards the second bar, which means it was a calculated header. He did not just put his head to it. He headed the ball with the intent of finding it at the other end, and beating the goalkeeper hands down. The goalkeeper was actually rooted and didn't make a move to try to stop that ball from going into the net. So I want to get more of your observations yesterday. Why do you think we were able to beat Bournemouth yesterday? What are your observations? Put it in the chat. Not going to lie, Chilwell made it difficult for Badiasbile and Mudryk. You have to elaborate. You can't just say that. Why do you think that he did that? Coach, let me start by explaining that I am the secret weapon of Lampard, who predicted the lineup and confidently told you we are winning. And that's who changed their name to that? Is that JC? Beautiful. I got one of you looking at the past games. Okay, let's see what we have here. What else do we have? Signing Gallagher is a bad choice for Chelsea. I haven't. Here's the thing. He's one player I don't want us to sell. I just want us. I know he has. There's a good player in here. He just needs a good coach. I don't want him to end up like Mason Mount, where everybody feels, he himself probably felt like he's arrived. Managers, every manager he's worked under, especially at Chelsea, their focus has always been on Mason Mount's industry, the amount of running he does on the pitch, the pressing he offers to the team and all that, and end up not helping him reach the heights that we all know he's capable of reaching. That is just what I don't want to see in the case of Conor Gallagher, and I think he stays. I've always said that I think he stays. But if he does, I think my concern is that would he want to stay? But I think he's on a long-term contract, so most likely he stays. It's not like he has just a year left on his contract, and if the club, if he doesn't see a path if he doesn't see the possibility of him starting an ample amount of games, he will opt to leave. I think it's down to the club now, but I think they will keep him. I don't think Chelsea should sell him. He was one of our best players this season. On occasions, he's come up big for us. But unfortunately, most people don't see football like that. I don't mind the players being selfish at this age, at that age. Yep, which is the same thing I've said. It's kind of a confidence building thing for them to take players on, take decisions or sometimes take on opposition players. That will be sorted out as he matures. Yep, you start to see less and less of that selfishness as he matures as a player. Was apparent that youth need to start. The problem was at the right side in Arsenal. We were pressing, but defensively Fofana was not taking correct decisions, which blew the Arsenal game. Lampard rectified that. Okay, let's see what else we have here. So at Bournemouth, it was not only youthful energy and desire, but also minute correction to the setup. I think he was proactive. Poch backed out. No, I don't think so. If anything, he'd be more willing to come now that we have Champions League football. Yesterday was a basketball game. Really, I'm not sure what to make of that. Poch is not. Do you have to always find something to be negative about, Kinso? And you said it was going to be 0-7 yesterday. Win against a Forest and you can lose the rest. I don't want us to lose any of the remaining games. As much as I know, it will be difficult to at least. There's no telling what will happen, but I really do want us to win the games we have remaining, no matter who we're playing against. That would be you can say a good confidence booster for the players going into the next season. Gallagher 3 goals this season. That's not easy. So put some respect to his name. Mudryk and Chilwell should not play together. Chilwell is too forward-minded and nullifies Mudryk's ability to impact the game. I think their relationship on the pitch. I did see some improvement yesterday. And it's not perfect yet, but I expect it to take time because they haven't played together for how many games have we seen them together on the pitch? And you could say whoever, even if he happens to be remember Mudryk also did have a problem with Cucurella on the pitch when they were paired. When Cucurella started, I think in the left wing back position and Mudryk played in the wing back role. Oh, it's one of the two. I forgot the structure we used on the day. So it's something that is expected. They haven't played together for a while, so that lack of proper chemistry is expected. It's nothing surprising there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 32 likes. Let's get the likes up, and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Coach, I thought I was typing my Wi-Fi password, but somehow it ended up changing my profile handle. I cannot go back for 2 weeks now. Wow. Okay. I don't know what to make of that comment. But that's, by the way, we move on from that. I'm going to bring in Bobby. Bobby, big up to you. A win for us, finally. We're safe. We're not going to get relegated. And more importantly, I hope you're doing well, and thank you for finding the time to join in the show. And just quickly, before you comment, Roger, if you're listening, I hope you're okay. We haven't seen you. You were wearing part of the pregame show, and I hope you're okay. And Liam Lane, also, I hope you're recovering. You're better now, so to speak. So, Bobby, I want to ask you, what are your observations from the game? What did we do differently? What helped us? What do you think helped us beat a Bournemouth?
Big up, coach. Big up, coach. Yeah, I
Super.
mean, it was a very important win. It was a relief. What helped was that he continued with the younger players who, had a lot of energy, a lot of desire to play.
Mm-hmm,
Um, I maintain that it's important that people like Gallagher stay around because the likes of Gallagher, Reece James, Mason Mount, perhaps to a lesser extent, Chalaba and Ruben. I mean, these are the people that are representative of the club DNA and will help the newbies, especially the new young players,
mm-hmm,
understand what it means to play for Chelsea, especially with people like Aspie quite clearly looking like it's time for them to move on.
mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it was a relief. I mean, to be honest, Bournemouth did have chances that they probably should have scored, and who knows what would have happened if they did. But I'm glad it's important we got that win. To me, it's all about the reset now. People are saying things like, "Oh, if we don't have Champions League football, maybe we'll go on a run like we did in 2017." And I don't do those comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
This club now, with all the young players and all the new players and all the change, needs to reset. All I'm looking for next season is a top
When you
four
say reset,
finish,
reset in what sense?
reset in its playing staff, in its playing approach, new manager,
Mm-hmm,
and to be able to use all these new players. That's the reset. The whole squad has been overhauled. And, I know we have three more players to get in a striker and a defensive midfielder and a goalkeeper. But, there's a lot of new players in there which need to be coordinated and managed correctly. People like Madueke, yes, he's a brilliant player, but you can see some aspects of his game. He's still a little bit raw. He needs coaching. He's 20 years old. He needs coaching. He needs to get that finishing into his game and that final pass as well sometimes. These are the things that a new manager hopefully will bring. And it's not going to be all be done in a pre-season as well, but the pre-season and a good pre-season is a good start. So I'll just be looking for, if possible, a top four at least. Well, it has to be possible because we're Chelsea. But I have no expectation other than that. And
When
the
you
team
say when you
playing
say
well.
making top four the coming season will be easier if we make a strategic signings, if we sign players like you mentioned, a goalkeeper, a defensive midfielder, and a striker, or maybe a central attacking midfielder who's excellent at creating, who can creating chances from the central area and
Well,
you
we've
say
got that in
produce
Nkunku,
double
haven't
digits.
we? We've
With
got that
who?
in Nkunku. Nkunku,
And
you
Kunku
know,
actually plays mainly on the flanks. He's played for a long time now on the flanks, and I don't see whoever comes in. I don't if most especially if it happens to be Pochettino. I don't see him using him as a 10. See what I
well,
meant. What my point is, we're lacking that players in the mode of the likes of Juan Mata, Cesc Fabregas, who are able to create clear cut chances from the central areas. I know
well, I,
Enzo
I,
does that, but
I,
I see
I don't know,
Enzo.
coach.
Enzo will
It's
still play a bit more deeper. But go ahead with what you were saying.
the new manager, these are the things he needs to sort out. He needs to get the efficiency of the team right. That's the point I'm
Mm-hmm,
making. And I didn't use the word easy. I don't think it's going to be easy, whatever we do, getting into the top four, because there's a lot of good teams now in the Premier League, and the teams that are there already are only going to strengthen even further. So it's going to be a battle, as always, but even more so. But the point I'm making is that this is the time to reset. This is the time to fix what's wrong in the playing system. I'm
mm-hmm.
with you. I think we should try and go to win every single game. Although the game against Man City, I actually want a draw. I don't really want us to stop their charge for the Premier League. So
You can
yeah,
choose it now. No, but I understand your
yeah,
point. I want the same thing too.
Yeah, and another thing we need to be astutely aware of now is that enough is enough. You know, we
Hmm.
don't get a full season out of Reece James and Ben Chilwell. One's injured, the other follows, and they're out forever.
Yeah, it's
Chilwell
become a
now,
serious issue.
yeah, it's a problem. So their backups or the rotations, whatever you want to call them, is very, very important. Malo Gusto is important. I think he may, if he stays fit himself, he may actually be the person to shift Reece James into midfield when he's eventually fit. And Chilwell, this pulling up again with a hamstring, and it's just I don't know. That might start to give Matson and a look in. I don't know. And this is where it's important to keep people like Frank around, Chelsea people that know Chelsea and also know our academy. Because any new manager coming in is not really going to know about Ian Matson and
Mhm.
the likes. He'll barely know about Colwell, although that conversation will be imposed on him because Colwell.
Mykhailo is still at the club. I think he's the one that's handling the loan activities.
Do you know? I don't know. I don't know. I've not heard of him for a while. It's quite possible. But yet again, how much say does he have? Although Bowley did say that at all levels data should be shared, but there's one thing sharing data, and there's another thing about information of personnel. Look, I'm sure the club, if they don't, well, they should have a system of reaching in. But the issue is that any new manager that doesn't have any kind of Chelsea background will not have a feel for these players that can actually come in. Look at Frank. Look, he didn't have a feel for the use of Badiashile. He didn't have a feel for the use of. He still doesn't for the use of David Fofana, and he's a Chelsea person. I think it's because he didn't really know anything about these players. So if
And
we
in
get
the
that
case of
sorted,
Fofana, you could say he got a chance by accident. I think something happened. Maybe Fofana isn't fully ready. Fofana the defender, not Fofana the attacker. Uh, because he's what he said during the post match what's it called the presser was that he's
the
close.
pre-match.
Didn't sound like he was going to give him a chance. I think something happened because was Wesley Fofana even on the bench? He wasn't. But go ahead with what you're saying, Bobby.
Wesley or Detro?
No, no,
What are
I'm
we
talking
talking
about
about?
Wesley. I'm talking about how Badiashile got the chance. Because on the bench, let me see. Let me look at the bench again. On the bench,
I think
we had
Wesley's carrying an injury. See, that's another one that he keeps picking up injuries, and
yeah.
this
Well,
is
it's
why
not.
we
Yeah,
need.
yeah, I know it's concerning, but he's not listed here, really. But go ahead with what you were saying,
Yeah,
Bobby.
he's not listed because he has an injury. He
So that
picked
was
up an
why
injury against
Badiashile got
Arsenal.
the chance in the first place.
I think Badiashile would have had the chance anyway. I think that's why Chalobah got the chance. I think he would have
Okay.
played Badiashile regardless. It's
Mhm.
Chalobah that came in for Wesley, in my opinion. But you see, we need that strength in depth. You can see that. I mean, even Koulibaly is not around. Um, thank God, Thiago Silva, is back to fitness and takes care of his body. But he's
Mhm.
going on 39 next year. How long can this continue? So the centre back availability is going to be very, very important for Chelsea. Very important.
Yeah, it is.
Koulibaly is not getting any younger. And look how he pulled up. Old man, he ran a little bit. Next thing he's pulled up with muscle problems. That is just a clear age issue.
All
So,
right, let me
yeah.
catch up while we have the chat. I have one question I want to ask you with regards to Mauricio Pochettino, and then we can go ahead and continue reviewing the match. I am in such a good mood. Got up, went up for a run, then I went to left fitness to lift. When Chelsea win, everything feels so much better. Uh, we love the club, so that's why we have to look beyond whoever is the manager and support the club, even support the manager to help our teams or overcome our opponents. Badiasbile has more ability to be a good defender than Fofana. I'm not going to get into that comparison really, but even though I'm doing the comparison videos, if you go check a list, there's Chelsea players versus, you will see that. I think I did Badiasbile versus Chalobah. I've done Nkunku versus Timo Werner and other players that you see, and I think you'll like it. One way say anything that they like about one may say anything they like about Frank Lampard, but I say this: Lampard has developed more youth players from academy in this small stints than all our managers combined in past 20 years. Now Gallagher, you could say that. You could say that anyway. Let's see what else we have here. One game per week can help Pochettino. I've said that before. We don't need a European competition. I don't want us, honestly, to make it to any anywhere on the in the table that ends up meaning that we're going to be participating in the European competition the coming season. I think it will be. We don't need that distraction right now. Badiasbile has had to cover too many times. It could have been a bad first half if Badiasbile didn't overwork. He reads the game so well that I still argue, and had he played against Arsenal, I think he'd be able to close up. What's his name? Close down on Odegaard on the two occasions he got a chance to score against us. Lampard went back to his mantra to getting young players pumped up. Here's the thing. Before I continue reading this, when you have a confidence issue with a team, the first thing you do is to change nearly the entire personnel or make at least 4 or 5 changes. And he did that. Believe me, the changes he made did go a long way. The fact that, let's say, whether Badiasbile started by accident or not, but he counts as a change. It is him, it is Conor Gallagher, Mudryk starting 3, and Kai Havertz starting 4. Plus Mudryk, who was one of the the only shining lights on the day that Arsenal beat us, and Ngolo Kante, that makes a huge difference. You have to how to overcome a confidence issue is to change the team. We saw when there's a time Liverpool was struggling, they were losing games, drawing games, and playing so badly. What Jurgen Klopp did was to even drop even the likes of the likes of Virgil van Dijk on the bench and make quite a lot of changes against us. You can argue had it not made that many changes against us, we would have beaten them. We could have beaten them. So that one principle, one thing Frank did, more importantly, is to drop lots of those players that weren't playing well, that you can say they were all low on confidence. He dropped all of them, and that made a lot of difference. Kovacic didn't look confident against Arsenal. Raheem Sterling didn't look confident against Arsenal. There were other players to mention, actually, that were very poor against Arsenal, and he dropped them, and that made a lot of difference. And those players, even Raheem coming off the bench, he was actually brilliant on the day. He did well. Not the best player, but he got an assist and plus all the good stuff he did on the day. So we move on from that. But I think he makes sense. The young players, they were eager to perform. They were eager to show that they should be given the opportunity to be starting games. Batman Badiasbile is a Rolls Royce, a top defender. He's an excellent player. What I like the most about him is his intelligence, which means he's capable of taking on that leadership role from Thiago Silva whenever he hangs his boot. I think he will fit into that central role perfectly, given how well he reads the game, his ability on the ball. I would argue, actually, I think he's a better passer of the ball than Thiago Silva. No disrespect to Thiago Silva. As much as I love him, let me just say, to avoid that debate at the moment, I think he's capable of becoming better than Thiago Silva in terms of his passing ability is beyond ridiculous. It's redonkulous, really. If I'm being honest, United are not that incredible. Same with Newcastle. You can't argue that. It took Lampard all these games to understand how good Badiasbile is. You could say Badiasbile may have gotten a chance by accident. Yeah, I have to say that. He might have gotten the opportunity to play by accident because he didn't sound like he was going to give him a chance during the press conference. Congratulations, Lampard and Frank. Congratulations to Chelsea and to also our fans, because we've been concerned. Actually, he's injured. He cannot be listed, but at least he had to be listed on the injury list. But he wasn't there. That's what I was referencing. Not really being in the team. It took Lampard about a month to start to filter his lineup. That's good enough, especially considering the dynamics of the mess he inherited. Lampard is better than some people anticipate. Yes, that's not where I have my a lot to say when it comes to arguing whether he's a good manager or not. I think he has a lot to learn. Let me just leave it at that at this point. Big up to you too, Chelsea, all the way. Always nice to see you, brother. If you're watching, whether you're watching on Twitter, but before you join us here, if you're watching on Twitter, make sure to follow Chelsea Perspective on Twitter. Remember, we're going to do a giveaway today. As promised, I promised my bro JC that if Chelsea beat Bournemouth, we'll do a giveaway to celebrate that, because it means we're staying up. We're not going to get relegated. So that's a huge relief for all of us. Bro, DJ, big up. Always nice to see you, bro. DJ says, Pachula, Bobby and the child, I said yesterday we were not getting relegated, and you were confident that we were going to win 3-1, excellent results. We're staying up. Yep, song was sung yesterday at the stadium. The away fans, they were excellent, really. But at one point, I think they were frustrated when they're singing Roman Abramovich's name, which I'm not in any way against that. I think Roman deserves to be remembered every now and then. Our only strength is in depth. Is the back line. I think we have lots of defenders, and we still have Levi Colwell coming home, and Lampard may well count as he's a central defender too, and he does well. He can play anywhere across the back line in a back three. The midfield could use some reinforcement after the exodus of some of the wingers. We will need some attackers as well. If we sell any winger, the one winger I'd like us to get is Samuel Chukwueze, but unfortunately, I don't think we can, because the truth remains Madrid are interested in signing him, and I think they'd get him. I think they probably may well prefer remaining in Spain because he suits his approach to the game. Levi Colwell is returning back in a few weeks. He can be Silva's potential replacement. He can be, the Chile can be, but let's see who becomes Silva's replacement in terms of leading the back line. I think Levi Colwell, I think he has the potential to get there. Badiasbile also has the potential to be that guy. And as much as I get it, I like the mix of that exuberance we see from Wesley Fofana. He's more aggressive of them all, and his that tendency to overlap, to carry the ball, move into the midfield area, on the flanks and everything. I think it's a good mix. We need that. We don't need them all to be all as gentle as what's his name, as Benoit Badiasbile. We need a mix, the perfect mix, and I think we'll have that right now. Moving from that, and Neil says now we need a Lampard to see what he saw in Badiasbile in orders like Dacho Fofana, Zakaria, or Ruben. Our midfield is too weak. Yes, and I'm going to say this quickly. I'm still saying that it looks like Badiasbile had to stop because someone else got injured. Congratulations, coach, and everyone on the platform. It was good to experience a win against a team that has won 5 out of 6. Yeah, that's the truth. We did look at that. A lot of people. Thank you for mentioning that. They are in better form. Yep, they've won and they scored. They scored scoring lots of goals actually. So it wasn't an win, if we're being truthful. And everyone on the platform, it was good to experience a win against a team that has won 5 out of 6 while we were at 0 out of 6. Yeah, a lot of people, especially those a lot of our community members also were confident it was going to be 0-0-7. One win out of 7 and Lampard is good. Did anybody tell you, just if you have an argument with somebody, sort it out. To me, that's not good enough, but you have to give him credit. He made the selection. He decided to with a 4-3-3 structure, even though I was concerned. It turns out it was a good decision and it did work. This is exactly what is wrong with this club. A standard are trash. I think you're just taking that to an direction we haven't gone this morning. Coach, there's a rumor KK is not happy and Juventus is exploiting. He could be going. I don't think that's the truth. I don't believe it. He said openly that he wants to remain at Chelsea. Look, I think we're actually underestimating how good he's been for us and how important he's been for us. We need that experience. We have too many young defenders, and without him being on the pitch or Thiago Silva being on the pitch, we'll have a bunch of, an average it should be around 22 actually. The average age of our defense without Koulibaly or Silva, which is a problem. You need that experienced head. And hate all love Koulibaly. You should go look at our statistics and see that he's actually one of our better performers, if that makes sense. If Lampard uses the same lenses he used to select Badiasbile, I'm going to say this again, he may have gotten a chance by accident. For others, we would bounce back very quickly. We've bounced back already. The question is, are we going to be able to remain where we bounced to when we landed from that bounce, if you use the word bounce? Madeke was constantly covering for Chalobah, who was very poor again, in my opinion. Chilwell was hindering Mudryk, and it seems like this hesitancy from the players to play with Mudryk. Chilwell, especially against Arsenal, was a bit hesitant to release the ball. But I'm not going to try to isolate. We'll look at their numbers to really, be more objective when we critique players and not just jump to conclusions that they played badly, because sometimes eye test could be wrong. But let's move on from that. I'm going to bring in Roger Pop. He missed the pregame show, but more importantly, I do hope you're well. I know things happen for a reason. You've explained before. I hope you're better now. Badiasbile is secretly our most technically gifted defender behind Koulibaly. You could argue that, but Roger, bringing you, let's bring you in. But more importantly, good morning to you. I hope you're well. That's like 3 times I've said that. That's okay. Well, the question I want to ask you is this: what are your observations? How do you think we were able to, overcome Bournemouth, even though they're in a better form still?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hola, senora. You live in that. You live in the Spanish aspect of me right now.
How are you, gentlemen? It's good to hear your voices, both of you.
Big up, brother.
I was pleasantly surprised yesterday, and I was also disappointed. It was a contradiction of emotions for me yesterday. The things that really, I'm pleased we won, of course we are, but I saw aspects of our game. You can tell some of the wayward passing, they're not on the same page, which is totally understandable, don't get me wrong, because they're a victim of circumstance, with the amount of injuries and just the amount of rotations, etc., and the new players. So that's to be expected. That's an observation, not a criticism, by the way. However, one thing, and I like Enzo a lot, so please don't misinterpret this, but for instance, his first shot on target, I don't mind people shooting, but this was a great rugby field goal attempt. He was 20 yards off target. I mean, it wasn't even close. And this.
Who was that, Enzo?
I believe it was Enzo, if my memory serves correctly. It was early in the game too. It was his first shot. I'm not sure how many shots he had, but just the lack of composure. And listen, he's a very technical and gifted individual, and I understand not everyone is a goal scorer like a Lampard, etc. But it's just I don't mind people shooting, but at least, shall we say, test the keeper. Because you never know. A keeper could slip, could sneeze, whatever the case. Things could happen, a deflection, etc. But when you're shooting and it doesn't even look like, it looks like a defender clearing the ball, it's that bad. This is why I have an issue, and this has been the case for and I'm not just singling out Enzo, by the way. It's been our MO throughout the season. I think we can all safely agree on that. And it just reoccurs each time. And yes, I'm being petty, but I'm like, wow, I just sat there. And then after we scored, by the way, it was a beautiful goal, well taken. Listen, you look at Gallagher, he is not the most technically gifted person, but he provides serious application, energy, closing down, and guess what? He can score. He can score all types of goals with his left, his right, and his head. So um, for all people that criticize him, you have to recognize he does certain things that other much gifted, shall we say, more talented football players do not do, and that is score. I'm not saying he's prolific by any means, but the other thing that concerned me was the ease with which we were dissected. I mean, it was like Bournemouth was sometimes a hot knife through butter. It was quite disconcerting. I mean, I don't know what you thought of it, Bobby, but as a goalkeeper, I was also just the amount of lack of closing down when they were taking shots, and some of their shots thankfully didn't test Kepa, but yet again, it's like listen, I'm looking at it selfishly from my perspective as a goalkeeper. The lack of closing down that allows our opposition to even take a shot is really disconcerting.
Well, where do you think that problem stems from? The lack of closing down. I think that has been an issue for a while now. If my memory serves me right, you and I have always complained the lack of closing down from the 2-6-6 especially, but we didn't play with 2-6s this time. We had Kante and Gallagher flanking Enzo, who plays centrally, but it's still an issue. But go ahead.
Sure. It's especially when you're defending, like from a corner, etc., or from let's say a deep set piece. It's or from them with open play. This comes from the defensive line. The only person that you cannot basically blame is a keeper because he can't come out 20, 30 yards to block a shot. Do you understand? It's troublesome. So this is another thing that really, at no point in time from a set piece did we look like we were going to score against them. And you know what a statistic that blew my mind away? I think they conceded 6 more goals than the nearest other Premier League team from, was it either corners, Bobby, or from set pieces? I forget. So this is a team that is frail defensively, aerially speaking. And do you remember at any time us really threatening them aerially? And this is a factor. I really like our defensive line. I think we're, let's say I'm not a Chelsea fan. Let's say I'm a neutral. I would be concerned with, with our defensive players all across the line. They're really good. They're young. They're gifted. They're tall. But aerially, they just seem so inept. I mean, this is a team that is the worst in the league, apparently, statistically, conceding goals from set pieces. And wow, I just, we didn't even come close. It was, I'm watching the game again live. It's in the 4th minute, and I just watched another shot where we didn't close down. I mean, and it just went wide of the post. Kepa had it covered, I believe, but this is what I'm saying. It's shocking. But yeah, so this is the one thing that really concerned me was from our set pieces. It was worrisome. I don't know what Bobby feels or you feel about that.
I think he feels the same. He did say that too when he spoke. Okay. And if you look at the numbers on the screen, actually, it was a pretty even match. Forget about a possession. It was a pretty even game. They had an XG of 1.29. We had an XG of 1.39. Total shots 10 to 11 of ours. Big chances created 2 of ours to 1 of theirs. Big chances missed. They missed 1 big chance actually. We missed 0 big chance. Accurate passes. We say we're not going to look at this, but all the aspects, it's pretty much close. Fouls committed 11 of us to 9 of theirs. Offsides 1 of theirs to 0 of us. Corners 7 apiece. So we were just more clinical on the day. But I'll take that. The fact that we scored 3 good goals, it wasn't like a deflected goals. We didn't.
Exactly.
None of the goals were deflected goals. That makes a huge difference. You could say, like I've said before, say what you like about Gallagher. During the pregame show, it was JC and I saying, we actually do need someone like Gallagher because we need commitment. Yes. We need commitment more than ever. And kudos to Frank Lampard for making how many. I would still say this, no matter how you see it, that the amount of changes he made a lot of difference. Because had he played the same players that played against Arsenal chances are you will still see players with low confidence. The whole team will look like they're low on confidence, but that changed. We looked a bit disjointed, but confidence wasn't our problem.
But that's to be expected because of the lack of continuity. However, obviously I wasn't privy to joining the pre-game show yesterday and so forth. But I was really pleased when I first looked at the lineup. I was pleasantly surprised, I must admit. I was really pleased with Frank's decisions in a lot of the players he chose. I really was.
Were you concerned with regards to the structure? That was my only concern.
You mean the formation?
Yeah.
Listen, he likes it, doesn't he?
I was concerned, but it turns out it was a masterstroke. It worked.
You know. As I said, I'm always seemingly defending a manager for us, but but in the same breath, it would be hypocritical of me to say otherwise. Where you can't give him total credit for the substitutions he made because he's not executing. It's like, oh, you hear this, oh, the manager, great praise for him for bringing on this player and that player, and then they end up scoring. It's like, no, it's like you can't do that for the simple fact that players play, coaches coach. So, as I said, coaches get way too much criticism and way too much credit when they win. Does that make sense? So,
I respect you for that, Roger.
Yeah.
I respect. It looks like Bobby wanted to come in and we didn't allow him to talk. We bullied him. Bobby. So, who bullied Bobby? So, Bobby, if you're there, come in. You wanted to say something when your brother Roger mentioned your name.
No, it was. He's quite right in his analysis so far. Look, this is a work in process. As I said to you earlier, this is now the opportunity to reset. We're still in the Premiership, which I think was an important factor in getting in.
Okay, it looks like he's taking a call. Go ahead, Roger, with what you were saying so we can continue. Before we talk about Mauricio Pochettino, we have to finish reviewing the match, but go ahead.
I was saying that I still think we need to find space for someone like Frank within the club in a functional way because he brings the club and what the club is about, not only to the board, but to the playing staff and to the training staff. I think that's very important. And, as I said to you earlier, Coach, this is now right manager in the set of 26 top elite players training with a full pre-season. Pre-season will not fully prepare the squad, but boy, will it go a long way to making them ready for the season and get them back into that well-oiled machine to continue for Chelsea going forward into the future. And I think we can be very successful because a lot of these young players are very good players. Sorry, I'm going to have to get this.
All right, Roger, let me get what we have in the chat. I'll come back, then we'll start maybe looking at the numbers here. And if people, we're still going to do a giveaway, the giveaway as promised, as I promised JC, my bro, that if we win, we're going to do a giveaway. But it looks like we're going to wait a little bit more to see if more people joins us. And I think the amount you're going to win will be $50. I promised I was going to do that. I didn't mention it. I think I already mentioned the amount on Twitter. Badiasbile is secretly our most technically gifted player. And I think you can say that he's excellent. His passing range, his vision on the pitch, he's just like Kukurea in that aspect, finds a passing lanes where you don't expect one exists. I told you if Sterling and Alba is dropped, we will win. No Sterling again, remain on the bench. We'll beat Forest too big. Coach, I hope he remains on the bench. He's proven to be more effective off the bench. But maybe I don't want a situation where Frank will look at him and say, since he did well when he came on, maybe he needs to start the next game. I think Mudryk should start. He was very effective. He didn't get a goal, but there are some interplays you see him initiate with some of the players, but the final pass didn't reach him. Mudryk on occasion started the 1-2 plays and then makes a run into the box, but the final pass, like I said just a few seconds ago, didn't get to him. I think we have signed ourselves a gem for ourselves. We will beat Man United. Wait and see. We must give them 7-0. I think you're being greedy now. Roger, all the players you could criticize, you chose Enzo. He wasn't criticizing Enzo. He was just highlighting the point. But of course, it is Roger. Everybody in the chat will get ready for war. Roger, did you hear that? Chelsea Gallagher can leave, but Crystal Palace Gallagher can stay. Let's talk about this a bit, Roger. There's a difference. I think he played consistently in a particular position at Crystal Palace.
Yes, he did.
But at Chelsea, he's been positioned A, B, C, D, or E, which to me you could say has led. Has led to that the lack of consistency we're seeing from him. Because had he been played if he's been played consistently in a particular position, I think he'd be well established right now. And he's one player I've always preached. I don't want him to leave. I know there's a good player in him. He just needs a good coach. I'm only concerned if he's not going to be getting enough game time to develop and get to that player that he should be. I don't just want to. But you go ahead. What's the difference between the Crystal Palace Gallagher and Chelsea Gallagher?
Well, you know what? I think we can safely say that about so many players this season for Chelsea, not just Gallagher, who have played out of position. It's been a plethora of players. So this has been part of our DNA, it seems, this season. Really does. It's quite shocking, actually. I'm surprised he hasn't put Kepa up front as a number 9. You know, it's seriously, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I get it. Yes, you're right with regards to Palace Gallagher. He, for all intents and purposes, played in the same position. If I'm not.
And by the way, you know that comment is from an enemy of the panelists.
What's that? Yeah, I'm sure. But no, it's there's some validity to that. But don't forget, he was played consistently, so he got game time. So he was able to, shall we say, build chemistry with the starters, and he fit in their scheme. He was adventurous, somewhat impetuous at times. I get that. That's part of his character, it seems, which is a good thing, and that will change. He'll be more disciplined in time because he's still very young. We need to take that into consideration. He's not a seasoned veteran, so this must be seriously taken into consideration for everyone. Stop being impatient, when you've got like a very early 20-year-old-ish player, in the early 20s. It's like players don't come into their peak till mid-20s. It's like the equivalent of a 40-year-old man. Does that make sense? It does, yeah. And so if you play Gallagher in a position consistently and don't put him all over the park, guess what? He will excel, as will a lot of players in Chelsea. And a lot of it has been, shall we say, taken out of the manager or managers' grasp because of the fact it's necessitated by injuries or suspension, whatever. And not just a few injuries. We're talking, for whatever you want to criticize all of the managers this year. I mean, 3.5 managers we've had this year, and you can't really criticize Bruno. I mean, he had one game.
We have 3.5 managers.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
No, I understand. I know why you say that, and it's funny. But go ahead.
Statistically, it's 4, but realistically, it's 3. Okay, and a lot of the time, they have been reduced to putting players out of position because of. Listen, I forgot the statistic, but at one point it was 4 out of 47 games that Chilwell and Reece had played together. But I believe the final stat was like 7 out of 50. Something, don't quote me, but it's something along those lines where they started a game together. That's pathetic. So, and these are some of our most important positions. So that's worrisome. So do you see where I'm coming from? I'm not defending the manager. I'm just stating, and yes, every team gets injuries, but not to the extent we have this year. So that's why I think a lot of, I just want to say two things very quickly, by the way. I thought that ref had a stinker of a game. Not only booking Mudryk, because he slipped over like 30 seconds later after being booked, but also the way he booked the bloody Bournemouth player. That was never yellows for either of them. I thought that was horrendous refereeing. The other thing is I was disappointed with Joao Felix not hitting the post. He's obviously not that consistent anymore.
He didn't score, right?
No, Frank needs to sit him down and talk to him. But,
he didn't get a goal.
He didn't hit the post, coach. That's what we
which means he didn't get a goal.
But you know what? For all the people that say Joao, that we've got too many Joaos right now, I'm sorry. Just the way he took the goal, he was so composed. Yes, he's missed a lot.
It wasn't about power.
It's about placement, and that's it. This is how he's never been a wham bam, thank you, ma'am kind of striker. No, he's a precise technical player, and I would love for us to either renew the loan or buy him. And I understand.
Here's the thing. I think you and I are the same. Where I have a problem, where I'm concerned, is that whether we'll be able to have the money to do that.
No.
But I'm
hearing
the plan will be to extend his loan stay at the club and then buy him with an option. And I think he wants to stay. You can see how he celebrated. He wants to stay, and we've heard that he wants to stay. But go ahead, Roger, so that I can catch up with the challenge.
Sure. And I think that another huge factor in that equation would be Atletico Madrid's manager. Does he leave or stay? Because if he stays another year, then guess what? I think Joao is definitely going to insist on returning to Chelsea in some form. I think that's a very important part. But you can tell he oozes class and technical ability. Whatever. Yes, does he have flaws? Yes, but you can say that about 99.9% of every player on the planet. I think you can tell he's playing in a league above himself. You can tell that he's so technical, and don't forget he's young. He's not even reached his prime.
He's 23, but we've been hearing his name for like.
Yes,
for a long time. It's for like forever. The same goes for every young player we have within our ranks. I think because we've heard their names so much, we expect them to be at the same level as Messi and all the big names over here. And when you take some time to sit back and say, look at how old they are, you go, oh, he's still just 22 and 21. In the case of Lampard, isn't he still 21 or 22? And some of us are saying sell him until you hear how old he is. Then you realize, oh, he still have time actually. Why be in a rush to sell him? Callum Hudson-Odoi, the same thing. Yes. He's still 22 or 23 at most.
Isn't that shocking? You think he's like
shocking, but because they've been playing for a while, even you, I know you and I, even though you have a spreadsheet of your birthdays, Roger, I know sometimes you think they're 25 when they're just 22 or 23.
Yeah, I totally agree, because they started at such a high level when they were 17, 18, and they've been around so long. You're right. That Callum Hudson is a great example, just like Joao Felix is. Because they've been playing at such a high level in very elite leagues and clubs, you seem to forget that, guess what? They're not 26, 27, 28. They're 21 to 23. So they've got so much more to improve and mature technically and in all aspects of the game. And I honestly just want to say, I think he could be a superstar for us. I really do.
Yeah, their age makes it a huge risk to just count them out because they underperform at this age. So that's by the way, people look at what we have on the screen. You have to type a thank you, Tuchel. We have to say thank you for him. We'll still go back to thank you, Roman. And last year we had planned something, the Roman Abramovich tribute contest. I think we're still going to do that this year. We ended up the amount budgeted for that. The tribute contest was broken down into 3 and was given away as giveaway $50 each 3 times. I will still do the Roman Abramovich tribute contest, but here's what you have to type in the chat to get a chance to win today's giveaway. For the fact we're not going to get relegated, we beat Bournemouth, and as promised, Jesse will remind you. I promised I was going to do we were going to do a giveaway today. Type a thank you, Tuchel. Each word, the 2 words before Tuchel's name starts with a capital letter. And then Tuchel's name starts with a capital letter. So I'll be waiting for you. Give you a few more minutes to put add your interest there before I do the draw. And good luck to all of us. I want us to end this one in time because I know we'll all support Arsenal today. What time is the game starting, actually? We all support Newcastle today. Sorry, before you guys.
I was about to say, what? Coach.
like what is Coach saying?
Is that
the
a
game starts in he will start in about 2 hours or so.
Is that a Freudian slip there, Coach? Did you just yeah.
Yeah, so if you're watching, whether you're watching, following us on Twitter, this is what you have to type in the chat, hashtag thank you, Toko, before we do the draw. What else do we have here? I want Chelsea, Crystal Palace's Gallagher, but it's down to us, down to the managers to play him consistently in a certain position. I think he will come good. Roger, I don't know what Lampard sounded in his ears, but Gallagher did not make a single back pass, which made a big difference. I think he did well yesterday. Give him credit. This says a 2 out of 2, and you can also say that Gallagher has runners in front of him yesterday. Yep, that was the case. I think he was so confident, even trying to dribble in some cases where he usually opts to pass the ball. If Enzo closes down before he's played so damn deep, he will leave a massive space behind, leaving the opposition to exploit. We've seen Odegaard do it twice. That's why we need a traditional DM, and Enzo isn't one. I think we can all agree with that. To that, so to speak. Let's see what else we have here. 3 out of 3. Thiago Silva helped to push the back line up. We weren't comfortable at times, but we attacked. Yep, we did attack. We wanted to win. Even though that's not the best performance we've seen from this team, but we really wanted to win that game. We to also consider the fact that this was Bournemouth, not a strong opposition, really. Okay, to qualify players, we should have won this game comfortably. Because we're so bad, we looked mildly better. Is that mildly? I'm not sure what word you wanted to spell there. Let's see what else we have. Badman, Chile, Fofana, and Colwell is our future at centre back positions. Wish we still had Zuma to have 4 solid CVs. But we're moving from Zuma. I wanted him to stay, but I realized the reason why it was easy to sell him. He makes some sometimes I don't know whether to call it a lapses in concentration or something else, but I really do want to move on from that. And this says give you a 10th place. Is that what you want? Kim, so the 4th, Chelsea need one more right back from Melo Gusto back up. James is not reliable. I don't see him play more than 10 games for next season. Whenever you see him, he's injured. I think he'd gone under the knife. So maybe it was just him staying out of the team until the end of the season. It's just a precautionary measure, not because he's seriously injured right now. I prefer to have one ready mid-range player on each instead of having an injured superstar in the recovery room. That's a solid argument. I wouldn't go argue otherwise. We have just one entry to get a chance to win the $50. So type thank you, Toko, and put it in the chat. And in a bit, I'll do the draw, whether we have just one person on or not. Yep, giveaway. Yep, that's the truth. We've talked about that. And this here says, just responding to Bobby, and a lot of people says we cannot lose both Gallagher and Mount. Must keep one of them. That's the truth. I think I agree with you. We must keep one of them. We must keep one of them at least. And I think Gallagher is more suitable to stay than Mount, most likely to stay, given the contract situation with regards to Mount's future. It doesn't look like he's going to stay. And we've heard nothing of late with regards to that presents us with information that says anything, how close or how far apart the two parties are. His camp and the club are negotiating for a new contract. Sterling and Joao Felix play well together, but the Enzo issue is still remains. Gallagher need a strong player as backup. Let's see. To back him up, I would have loved to see what's his name, Lewis Hall yesterday, but it didn't happen. I agree, Roger. Lampard is half manager, and that's been that's been generous. I know Roger meant Bruno. Not, Bruno, was that his name?
Yes.
Okay, Bruno, yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello to you too. He calls me Chip Chilla Constantin Dante. My Australian bro. Always nice to see you. Here's what you have to type to get a chance to win $50 this morning. And I hope Kimsa wins it. It doesn't look like anyone else is interested in winning the $50. Okay, let's see. Ever since supporters' departure, Roger is more critical now. He's always been critical. He's just trying to keep it objective. But maybe you don't know Roger that well. But yeah, I like you. I like to watch you guys have a go at Roger, as long as it is respectful. Mudryk is showing just how skillful of a player he is. I've always known that he's skillful. I've always known that he doesn't shy away from taking on opposition players. I've always known that all that is left is for him to mature into a complete player, but he's well equipped to get there. I've seen comparisons, some saying he's the younger version of Robben, and some compares him to Dembele. I think he differs from those two players, but I can't quite put my finger yet on how he differs. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, who are you talking about, Coach?
Madueke.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, yeah. Okay, I get it now. I get it.
Someone is staying at Madrid. They are second. Who is staying at Madrid? Do you think? I'm thinking Eden Hazard, because I did see something where he said he wants to celebrate the last year on his contract. It just seems as if he wants to get back at them by staying and living on the free, or they end up terminating his contract and paying him off. Because you can say they've disrespected him quite a lot. That's how I see it. But we'll move on from that. Give those young players at Chelsea a proper manager, and you will see the difference. Here's one surprising aspect, Roger. Something that makes me laugh so hard every time it comes to mind is that when we play badly, you see a lot of people go, it's all the players. These players haven't worked. Even Thomas Soko did say, same players, same problem. The same players on the Graham Potter underperformed. They were horrible. Same players. It's in no way Lampard's fault. That's not me saying everything that we're going through is down to they're all Lampard's fault. I recognize that we are where we are today due to multitude of reasons. But
yes.
Have you seen people say, sell all the players, it's all their fault? But when we win, you see them picking and choosing.
I think, honestly, it's a combination. It's a multitude, as you said, of reasons. I think all parties have to take responsibility and blame and acclaim. I think the blame and credit should be shared equally, or at least proportionately. I really do. As I said, we won yesterday. You cannot give all the credit to Lampard. You just simply can't, because it's, as I said, if you have a great manager, that means he should win 100% of all his games or her games. It just doesn't.
Or not lose even a single game.
Or concede a goal or a set piece or anything. It just doesn't work that way. This is a round orb, an object that is constantly on the move with finely tuned athletes in a location that has certain dimensions. So the variables are huge. To me, I think players should be given a lot of credit because they are the ones executing the plays or the tackles or whatever. And the manager has nothing to do with that, to do with the player's speed or physicality or skill level.
After all, there's some managers who were never professional players, but still make good managers.
Exactly, and vice versa. Great players that make pathetic managers, etc. However, the manager doesn't play on the field. I mean, unless he's a player manager, you know what I'm saying. And therefore, however, he is there to develop a player and put him or her in a position to succeed and excel. That's where the manager should be given credit and or criticism. However, players should equally be criticized when they do not perform, like tracking back or go in for a tackle or shoot 30 yards over the bloody goalpost or play eloquent football and just, so you can talk about them in a superlative manner. So I think blame and credit should be given proportionately. I really do. And I think managers, as I say every week, are given way too much credit when a team wins and way too much blame or criticism when they lose. And that's not the case for either. It's somewhere in between. It's that simple.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Roger. And JC says Felix is good, but how do you fit him in the team? Some problem as Atletico Madrid had. In the case of Atletico Madrid, Felix's biggest problem at Atletico was the fact it comes down to the Diego Simeone's you could say non-inspiring approach.
Yes.
How do I call it?
Defensive.
Defensive approach to the game, which stifled him. I think you could argue Felix should be further from where he is today, given his talent. But Diego Simeone, no, it doesn't matter how good you are. I think his approach to the game can be so boring to players like him. They are scoring more without him. Let me see. I hope he doesn't bring knowledges like James Rodriguez and all that. I don't know. I don't know what to make of the fact that Atletico Madrid are now scoring more goals without Felix. Maybe they needed that adjustment, but they say one man's food is another man's poison, and one man's poison is another man's food. Maybe we are what Felix needs, and Atletico Madrid isn't what he needs, if that makes sense. Roger Lampard is a relief. Let me see what else we have here. No Stalin. He will cost us. Okay, I'm not sure what to make of that. Lukaku has 10 goals in our competition this season. It's not a bad return, but there are other reasons why I don't want him at the club. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We've made it to 50 likes. We have to round off before the Arsenal game starts, but I think we still have a few more minutes. Let's see, what else do we have here? And it says, happy Sunday, everyone. Choma, always nice to see you. I appreciate you. And something I want to say quickly, that's some sort of comments we saw yesterday mentioning people's nationality to an extent that you could say categorically it was a borderline of racism. If you see such things, don't wait for me. Please just go ahead, ban the person, especially if you have a managerial level. If you're a managerial level moderator, please take care of it. You don't have to wait for me, so that we keep the conversation civil and not let people come here and not be civil. Let's see. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, people. We have 50 likes. We can get it up to 100, I believe. We need 15 more to get it to 100 by the time the show ends. Rivals don't want us to celebrate our win. Well, today, I'm sure today, I don't know, Chama, are you going to support your brother who's an Arsenal fan? Are you going to support Newcastle? I don't want them to win the league, so I'd like them to get a draw to do it, or at least a draw or lose the game. Is Mauricio Pochettino coming to our aid? We haven't heard anything of late. The last thing I heard was an update from, you can say a legit update from Glenn, a friend and brother of the channel, who told me that, yeah, they are, again, it's taking so long because he's also negotiating for his backroom staff. That's why it's taking too long. There's no way to confirm whether that's the truth or not. But yeah, it's believable. If I don't know what else to say, it's a hold up. That same Bournemouth has beaten good teams as well. Yep, they've beaten Tottenham away. So give Frank Lampard credit for the selection. Give the players credit for doing as well as they did. Let's not take that away from them, honestly. So thank you for saying that, Chama. Is that a giveaway for students? No, not for students. Anyone can participate. And the one we do for students is every month, and it's usually on the 15th. I'll be on the 15th of the month. So all you have to do is type hashtag thank you Toko in the chat to get a chance. Now we have only one person, and I'm going to do the draw soon. Felix has instantly fitted into our system, unlike Havertz, who after 3 years, we still don't know how, who, what, where he fits in. He fits in. And you're laughing at yourself. You're sounding like you're in school now. Oh my goodness, you have to be a bit nice, man. We should get Lavia. Lavia for me, I think he's my sort of. If you want to play him as a DM, I'll take it. But Ismail Benessa is still my preference. But I get it. He has 50 million euros a release clause on his new AC Milan contract. But when is that going to be active? I don't know. Maybe that's what I need to find out. And we were linked with a move for him. I don't know what happened. We have two entries right now. It is just Constantin Dante and Kimso. He says, sorry, Kimso, it cannot be only you. But that's, by the way, DJ, I'm going to come to you right away. My bro, your thoughts, and big up to you, first of all. What are your observations from the game? How do you think we were able to overcome them? Because they're in a better form.
Hello, DJ.
First of all, hello guys. Big up to my brothers on the panel. Big up to you, Chiller. Big up to everybody in the comment. Remember to smash the like and subscribe to the channel, please. Listen, I said on the end, Chiller, a win was expected at some point, and all this talk of Chelsea going down, all this rubbish, even though it was all people just obviously getting worried for no reason, relegation. I never believed it for a second. I always knew we were going to bounce back at some point. It was just a matter of when. And even though we did play sluggish a little bit yesterday, what we did do is grind out a result yesterday, which I've not seen Chelsea do in a long time. It kind of brought me back to the days when we started winning under the Mourinho days of grinding out a result when you're not playing well. And that's exactly what we did yesterday. We took the lead. Obviously, we let the lead slip. Again, Kepa beaten. People can talk about the long distance shot. It was a good finish. Let's not take it away from the guy who equalised. But after that, okay, they got more into the game. But Chelsea, I always felt Chelsea will always have today, and it was just a matter of when the goals were going to come. It took a bit of time. The second half came, and the goals came. We were rewarded. And I think our play in the end rewarded us to get them goals, and I'm very happy with that result. And long may it continue. Forest up next, and hopefully we'll get a win against Forest. But overall, very happy about the result. %.
So why do you think we were able to beat them? You haven't told us that.
I think we were able to beat them because it was the players kind of like knew. It was one of those things where the players, I think, realised the criticism that was coming. They realised that they needed to do something. Bournemouth is not. Let's be honest. Bournemouth have given teams a tough time. Not just Chelsea, they've given a lot of other teams a tough time going over there. I just felt the players need to be woken up, and I think they did. I think they just went out there yesterday and showed exactly what we wanted them to do, which was grit and determination. Yeah, there were some stupid bookings in that game as well, but this is all for the cause of them wanting to win that game. I think we won that game based on experience in the end, because we showed a team. Because let's be honest, Kachila, we're not used to seeing our team in this situation. Yeah, we know where we always are. We're always top half of we're elite. We're always top half of the table. I think we showed yesterday that even we can get into a little scrap like this, we still had to win games. And I think all the plays asserted themselves yesterday. I thought Madueke was far best our man of the match yesterday. I thought he was absolutely fantastic yesterday. A lot of shout outs go to some of the. I think Mudryk had a good game as well yesterday. A lot of our players played well yesterday, and and in the end, I think it was the team. The team just showed that they just needed to win this game yesterday. I think in the end they did that. I think it was just heart and grit and determination for me.
Roger, do you agree with that? And do you agree that it was just about the determination? Because we looked at the numbers. The numbers suggest it was a pretty much even game. We were just the more clinical of the two teams on the day. If you look at it here, 1.29 of their expected goals XG to ours of 1.35. Total shots, 10 of theirs, 11 of ours. Big chances, 2 of ours, 1 of theirs. Big chances missed and missed 1. The only thing, the partner you could say we beat them hands down is ball possession. And fouls committed, nearly 11 of us and 9 of theirs. Offsides, 1 of theirs, 0 of us, and 7 corners apiece. Pretty much even game. Yeah, a commitment is important. I think I agree with DJ to say to an extent we beat them because we were committed. We wanted to win, but there's something else I have in mind. I've said that before. But I want to get from you, Roger, is it just down to the players being committed or the fact that we're more clinical, or do you see anything beyond that as the reason why we were able to beat them?
I think it's all of the aforementioned. I think DJ's
Did I just
correct.
do a tapping on you?
Yeah, but more importantly, I thought the crosses were more accurate. For instance, you look at Gallagher's first goal; he made a good run, and the cross was excellent. It was the correct pace, accurate, and then you look at the. Now I know Sterling lost control midway of the ball when dribbling per se, but he made the cross, and I thought, Joao was so composed, just placed it.
He didn't look like he was gonna miss.
No, it looked like honestly, it looked like a training session. It looked like a five-a-side training session. He looked so composed the way he executed that. And this is what he illustrates. He brings.
Sorry to interject, and credit for your cousin for that drive with the ball, because there were about 4 people around him. Go ahead.
Yes, he looked. He received the ball. He accelerated. He took on his men. Yes, it wasn't at close quarters. It was medium distance, but he recognized there was space there, and he took advantage of his speed. And I think he crossed the ball because he had no other alternative, because he was going to lose it. Otherwise, he would have shot himself, I think. But listen, you have to give him credit for doing it ad hoc. And I respect that. I think the main reason I still see in other games that we've played, we have lost, by the way, which is quite a few, or drawn, is the fact that we weren't as composed. We've had many more chances created in other games, but they were just woefully inept or incompetent at being clinical, finishing the ball, putting the ball in the back of the net, or creating an accurate cross, if you understand. And I think yesterday's game was attributed to the accurate crosses and to the composure and clinical finishing of the team. This is the only difference. If you look.
So where does confidence? When you say confidence played a huge part, the amount of changes we made led to us having, you could say, practically a new team altogether. A mix of those that didn't show lack of confidence the last time, and an introduction of those who hasn't played for a while who'd be eager to show that they should be starting made a difference. But you go ahead.
Yeah, this is what a lot of the channel have been screaming for, to have Madueke, to have Mudryk, and so forth play. They bring youth, they bring enthusiasm, they bring speed, they bring, shall we say, a good form of naivety where they're not scared. They're young. Do you understand? And then it's compounded with the fact that the substitutes are experienced for the most part by comparison, and so they know what not to do, and that's what they did. When they saw the opportunities, they took them, and I thought it was a good recipe. In this case, not for disaster, but for actually success, and perhaps that should. And he was asked, if you listen to his press conference, his post-game press conference, he was asked the very last question. Do you think that, based on what you saw today, that the youth, the players that you started, don't you think this is a calling for these players to start from now on? And he skirted it to a certain extent, but then he understood that there was validity to that question. Obviously I'm paraphrasing here, and said that, yes, based on if they continue with their weekly training and on the pitch at Cobham, if they do indeed deserve to, why not? So he did actually infer the fact that, yes, that had credibility from that question. And why not? I mean, he shouldn't start these players just for the sake of starting them if they do not excel in training. That's what he basically said. In other words, if they do what they are supposed to and have done in the last week, then guess what? They will start from now on. That's what he's basically alluded to. So, which bodes well. However, I would like to see Joao play more minutes, because he's on loan. We're paying for him whether he plays or not, and not just paying for him like a couple of shirt buttons, but we're paying a lot of golf balls for him, like 11 million, whatever it is. And B, I just think he's I really like Joao Felix. Does he have deficiencies? Yes, he does. But so does every single Chelsea player.
So does every player that exists.
Yeah.
So do you have a C? You have A, B, no C. So I should go ahead.
Yeah, no, go for it. It's like, honestly, I think it's all of the above. But I thought that the combination of substitutes worked very well, and the fact that maybe they found something, something clicked, and you knew, and we knew collectively that once one person scores, that the floodgates will open. Now, obviously, this wasn't a 7-0 drubbing, but it wasn't exactly a 0-0 either. By our standards, this was a 7-0 drubbing.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this actually. Had Cucurella been available, I think he would have started over Ben Chilwell because he was awful against Arsenal. That was only player that didn't show confidence during that game against Arsenal that was on the pitch. I think he did a good job by realizing some players need to drop to the bench. And off the bench, Raheem Sterling is a hero. Bournemouth were on a 4-game winning streak, so don't take that performance away from Chelsea. I had a feeling we would win as long as I had a feeling we would win. Was overdue because I knew there would be goals, open game. It was an open game, actually, surprisingly. Bournemouth were good, had chances, just not clinical, which is usually us. And I am surprised as to how much their approach have changed. They have changed so much from the days. Who was that? Was it Dyche? Who was the former manager? And was it Sean Dyche? I mix up Sean Dyche and Eddie Howe.
No, Bournemouth. I don't think Sam Dyche or Dyche was their coach. It was Eddie Howe was their Bournemouth
Was it Eddie
manager.
Howe?
Eddie Howe was a player for them and then manager for Bournemouth for many years.
Okay, Dyche was for Burnley, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so I'm mixing it up. Yeah, but again, the approach is excellent, actually. Under Potter, Chelsea utilized playing through the middle, which created more chances. And with Enzo Fernandez, the creative players, and Felix being the guy who connected it all together, that's all gone. The good thing, Frank Lampard is not going to stay here forever. Please, is it please? People didn't realize that I was serious. I'm guessing you meant people didn't realize that I was serious about a win prediction. The only coach was though. Kuchila, let's get the giveaway going. Let me just get to what we have in the chat. I'll do it. 2 people. So good luck to them. Enzo seems to have slowed down a little bit, which is understandable. I think we've overplayed him already. He needs a bit of a rest. Seeing how abysmal we've been playing, but he will be back. He wasn't that bad. It's just that he seemed a bit mentally tired. But yesterday was different. I think it was good, except for that shot that the rugby union will be very proud of. Other than that, I think he did quite well. His passing range and everything. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. One more to get it to 60. We may not reach 100, but let's get it to at least 60 plus today. Don't worry about the money, Roger. It's not yours. I don't think that's a good attitude, really, Constantine. But I know you're joking. It's not good because if we have a financial issue, we're in serious trouble, really. If that makes sense. Here it says no point starting him when others are doing better. Why would we build up his price if he hasn't delivered yet? We must continue to pinch these established starters with competition from youth. I think that competition will go a long way. Felix is a better 10 than Havertz. If he's bought and Nkunku comes in, then Havertz is obsolete. Wow.
No, he's not.
Okay. That's his opinion anyway. Don't start Felix. Dribble, but he can come off the bench 15 to 20 minutes, end of game. If that's how you're going to be utilizing him, then forget about signing him on a permanent. Exactly. He knows that. I think he probably right now is content with the fact he's started coming off the bench because he knows he should have done better than he's done. It's as simple as that. So let's do the giveaway. Let's not waste too much time. We still have just 2 entries. I'm just going to go back, come back in and do the draw. 2 people. So let's see who wins it today. And please just reach out via Twitter or Instagram to get the cash prize, and it is $50. And the winner is Kim So. Congratulations to you, Kim So. You've won yourself $50 cash. If you live in the United States and you use the Cash app, just like 30 minutes after the show, boom, you will get it. If you have a PayPal, 30 minutes after the show, you get it. If you have where you can have access to Western Union, you get it also. So congratulations to you, Kim. So you've won yourself $50. What else do we have here? Vamos. Yes, he's celebrating already. Enzo bit slowed down, but he regrets signing that deal. I don't think so. If he's regretting signing that deal, he would not have allowed the club to trigger the extension already. Because remember, it's just a week ago or so we heard that he's extended. They've triggered the extension already to make it. Was it 20 years, Roger? Or 8 years? So this argument doesn't make sense for the fact. I don't think that the club will trigger that extension if Enzo doesn't agree to it. And if he's regretting anything, he will not agree to that. You're in France, then you can do Western Union. Hopefully you have Western Union. Now you can do PayPal. It's easy. I'm in France. Okay, let's see what else he says here. Constantine, is he crying? Okay. I don't have PayPal though. Do you have access to Western Union? Or maybe you can just open a PayPal account. It won't take long to confirm. I have Revolut. Okay, I'm going to check that. People send money via multiple means, so maybe Revolut, I have to check it. But message me via Twitter or Instagram. Send me your first name and last name you have on your ID, because in most cases they need your ID for you to be able to get that. Mudryk and Dacho Fofana has this physicality that allows them to maintain the ball and get through tackles. Unfortunately, Mudryk lacks that composure. No, he has that. Mudryk is physical too. You cannot muscle him off the ball easily. But let's see what else we have. That's a shame. Kimso guess we drew again. We draw again, so to speak. And I think he can get it. He will. What's your Instagram, coach? It's still Chelsea Perspective. Chelsea _ perspective. That's the Instagram. So we'll move on. DJ, I don't know if you have anything else to say. I want us to round up this as possible so we can go and support Newcastle. Otherwise, we'll start looking at the statistics. Go ahead.
Nah, bruv. Just happy that we won. Can you just imagine weeks ago and on your streams, on your previous streams, we've been crying out for a Chelsea win. Doesn't matter how we win the game, we still won a game. That's what counts, and that's how I look at our situation. We won, and I'm happy about that. So long it may continue. That's all I have to say on that one, bruv.
Yep. And Broski says that, coach, he's going to stay here for his for the rest of his career. He's human too. Bruv, bit stress is fine. Hope this win can bring back his confidence. If you see him on the pitch, you see. He's happy when we're winning. He's in pain when we're losing. I think he's a winner. He's a born winner. And I get it. Sometimes regret. Sometimes you can regret something temporarily, just because for one reason or the other. But I think, like I've said, if he's regretting it that much, he wouldn't have allowed the club to trigger the extension. Why would they do that? If that makes sense. So, Roger, any player you want us to look at there at how well they did on the day? I honestly, if you wouldn't mind, I would like us to start with Badiasbile. I think he's rated 8.2, the highest rated player on the day. And I'm not shocked, really, given how well he did.
Can I just say something? I'm a little bit concerned of how many, yet again, bloody hamstring issues we're experiencing. Yes, I admit it's a rainy day and therefore it's a heavy pitch, which usually no
friction between the cleats and the pitch. Is that what you're saying? The slides.
Well, usually hamstrings are pulled on heavy pitches traditionally. When it's raining, it's heavier pitch. You see what I'm saying? But we seem to be inordinately more experienced more hamstring injuries this season than I can ever recall. Who came off yesterday? Was
even
it
after
Chilwell?
hiring a hamstring specialist?
Yeah, yes, yeah. It's like, what is he doing? Seriously, I mean, honestly, was it Chilwell? I forget. I can't recall. Someone came off with another hamstring yesterday, and I don't know. I find this really concerning. We've lost so many players this year to injuries, and a lot of them have been hamstrings. Am I the only person here that is concerned about this?
It's not only you, brother. I think it's concerning because lots of the players it's all hamstring. Chilwell is a hamstring too. That's probably why you're saying this.
Yeah, it's just so many this year. It's like, it's astonishing. It really is. I mean, and it's happening to young players also, not the senior players exclusively. You know, usually, because once you pull a hamstring in any part of your career, your life, then you're more susceptible to pulling it again. You know, it's the largest muscle or group of muscles in the body. But we just seem inordinately suspect to hammies this year. And I'm perplexed by this. That's all. That's all I wanted to say.
Let's look at this. Badiasbile, let's look at his numbers, and the guy is just 22. He's just 22, and
He's
if
an
you
old
don't
man,
know,
coach. He's
yeah,
an old man.
Yeah, exactly. You think he's 30? Getting closer to his 30. He played 90 minutes. Goals scored 1. Total shots 1. Accurate passes 89.104 /104, which is 86% accuracy. Forget the XG. We don't need that from a defender. Expected goals on target. We don't need that. Forget the fantasy points. Shot accuracy 1 out of 100%. Touches 110. Successful dribbles 1 out of 1. Passes into the final third 10 from that deep.
Wow.
10 from that deep. Passes into the final third. That's excellent. Accurate long balls, a 6 out of 9, 67%. That's not bad. Clearances 1, interceptions 2, recoveries 3, dribbled pass 1 time. Ground duels 1, 2 out of 4, 50%. Aerial duels 1, 4 out of 6. That's fine. That's not bad. Was fouled 1 time. And here's the thing, Roger. Let's talk about his goal. I think the way he took it, that volley, I think shows you that is his footballing. It highlights his fottballing intelligence. Because some people, as long as the moment the ball goes beyond the head level, they usually get confused. But he jumped and used his left foot to score that goal. What you make of that goal? For me, it highlights how intelligent he is as a footballer.
I don't know about intelligence. I would say composure more than anything, because he looked like a forward taking that. He didn't look like a defender. He looked more like a number 9 doing that. I was very impressed when you consider that's a 22-year-old fetus of a defender doing that. I've seen forwards miss from that range before, so I was impressed. Let's put it that way. You know, when you consider that a lot of our other forward players or mid-range to forward players, you know, they'll shoot 20 yards over the bloody crossbar. And this chap, in a set piece, in a volley, by the way, you know, I was impressed. I would not have been surprised had we had missed from that range on a volley and it gone sideways or over the bar. I would not have been surprised based on our season. So for him to do it, I was delighted for him. I really was.
You can say also he read the trajectory of the ball quite well, knowing it's gone beyond, you know, he's not going to be able to use his head anymore. It has to be his feet. And he has to jump. He didn't stand and wait for it. He jumped to use his feet to do that. It was well taken. And you can argue the goalkeeper didn't expect him to get that right. Even though it came straight at him, nearly straight at him, he still didn't expect it. So that was why he wasn't able to stop it.
It was a beautiful cross, by the way. It's a beautiful taken free.
It's something you can only get from Ziyech.
Yeah, it was quality. And, you know, I'm not a big fan of his, but he has this ability with his left peg to to provide absolute quality. You know,
So
as I've
much
always said,
better.
he's a poor man's Mahrez. I've always called him that. And, you know, today he looked like Mahrez in that delivery. That was sublime. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Roger. One second.
Of course, sir.
Yeah, I'm back. Somebody, there was a knock on the door. I had to say, yeah, good morning to somebody. Coach, he is going to stay. I think I've read that one. And here from Constantine Dante, Silva gave away a lot of his first goal, mostly covering for Chalobah, not good at right back. Don't we have any youth proper right back in the academy? I don't think we have one. And for the lack of availability of a right back was the reason why I had suggested we go. I'd prefer us go with a three at the back structure to play Loftus-Cheek in the wing back position. But I wouldn't blame Silva too much yesterday. I think he was also as excellent as always. Roger, the hamstring specialist contract stipulates pay as you play. He constantly had somebody in his office. You needed to make corrections to legal terms on his employment contract. Yeah, to accommodate that. I think that's a delicious one. Roger, which other player would you like us to look at here so we can call it a day?
I'd like to look at Chalobah, actually. I'd like to look at our new impersonator of Rudiger, Chalobah. He was just progressing the ball constantly, if you noticed.
Yeah, he did well offensively. He did more. I think overall, I don't know why people are, you can say, some are actually slandering him. I think as a makeshift right back, I think he did well.
I want to say something, though. On the goal we conceded, it was actually Badiasbile that backtracked. He didn't try to block from a goalkeeper's perspective. If you look at how that Bournemouth player took the ball, Badiasbile was in the area, and instead of confronting him going forward, he backtracked and allowed the player to shoot. Badiasbile had a great game, don't get me wrong, but I was just wanted to point that out, that he was the player closest to the shooter, and he didn't close him down. I just wanted to say that. But even at that,
let's not take anything away from the guy. The goal was just delicious, man.
Listen, I'm wearing a goalkeeper's hat. I'm being biased here. I'm being honest with you. I'm being honest.
No, I know you've been honest. It's just funny the way you said it. The goal was delicious. I don't think any goalkeeper would stop that.
Mendy doesn't stop that. No one stopped that. It's right in the corner. It's in the top, and it's. But the fact that he was allowed to take that shot bothers me. I would have got in his face had I been a keeper.
That's where my argument with regards to the 2 6s or maybe the lone 6 not doing enough to close down the player.
In your own box, in your own box, that's unacceptable in my opinion. But you know what? Though?
He had too much space.
Yeah, he did. But you know what? Badiasbile had a great game, so you can't take that away from him. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be objective. That's all.
Yeah, I understand. It's always nicer to see things from different perspectives. Hello, Kachila. Finally, we have the defenders that can score. And we've always had that. I think it's lack of confidence is an issue, really. Thiago Silva can score. Badiasbile can score. Even Chalobah can score, but not with the header, but with his feet. He can actually shoot quite well from outside the box. I think lots of them can actually. Ben Chilwell actually can score too. But lack of confidence is for a while has been our biggest problem. Now we're going to see Aspie at left back. Lamps didn't go to Hall, so not sure if he will play him at all. Hall is a midfielder. I think the only time I want to see Hall if he starts the wing back, left wing back position where the application is different, where he applies himself more from for me again. Where his primary responsibility will be to support the attack and help overload the midfield areas.
And in a back three, coach.
In the back three, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The wing back row. That's why I say in the back three. Poor kid was warming up, happy to come on in. Lampard gets cold and Aspie off the pitch. Probably he wants experience. Probably concerned that that's a chance we could concede. And in that case, you want that experience in Thiago Silva. So it makes sense. That substitution does make sense. We're looking at Chalobah rated 7.4 by Fortmore. I didn't see, again, he wasn't perfect, but I wasn't one of those saying he was crap. I think I think some of us, the way we look at football, one single mistake, they don't give that person a chance the whole of the game. He played 90 minutes. Accurate passes 75 out of 83. That's 90%. And that's not like he's going sideways and backwards the majority of the times. He tried to progress the ball quite well. Touches 101. Passes into the final third 13 from a defender. But Roger,
Wow.
you didn't mention that he was overlapping quite a lot. He went forward quite a lot.
Yeah, he
but
dribbled
13
with
is
the
still a
ball
high.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
He progressed the ball like Rudiger did quite often. I was really pleased. He took a dimension. He saw that there were gaps and he took on his man. So this tells me he has very good spatial awareness, and for a person of his age, I mean, he's a fetus, and I was really pleased with how he played, taking the ball, taking the responsibility, finding the open player, caused by the fact that he possessed that open field, and I thought he did very well. I was really pleased with him.
Yeah, he did well, but unfortunately, make one mistake, people will start slandering you. I don't think he was all.
Listen, this young group, because as my good colleague, my learned colleague Bobby has said, we can't rely on the, Silva for the next century. It's simple. He's an amazing athlete, amazing professional. That's taking care of his body so well, but he's turning 39 soon, and guess what? We have Badiasbile, we have Chalobah. We have a plethora of players that are going to be in their early 20s. We have about 4 or 5 of them that are, I believe, high caliber and have a very high ceiling. And so our future looks quite positive and not ominous. So I'm pleased in that regard.
Thank you so much, Coach. He says the winner of today's giveaway, Kimso says, Coach, I created a PayPal account. I think it will take a day or two. Let me know if it's been. I don't think it will be active immediately. I think how they work, they send something less than 1 cent or $1 or so to your account and say confirm it. Tell them how much they sent to your account and yada yada yada. Yeah, just let me know when you come when it's active. If you feel like it's active now, send me a message via Instagram. I think that's where you say you have an account. Send me the email address you used for that PayPal account, and I'll do it as soon as possible. Chalobah was just okay, but it's not his position. It was a makeshift defensive line. So most people don't judge people objectively. They just jump to the conclusion that he's been poor. And actually, to me, it didn't feel like we're not playing with a natural right back, actually. It didn't feel that way.
That's a good point, Coach.
Yeah. We need to give Lewis Hall or Ian Matson a chance. Why Career starts for us. Lewis Hall is not a defender. He's not a wing back. He's a midfielder that can fulfill the wing back role with the primary where the application is different and not primarily to defend. I think he can fulfill that role. He's an excellent passer of the ball. A confidence chap. Let me sound like Roger a bit. We need to give him a chance. I think he will get the chance. On the Tuchel, there was a time defenders were the ones scoring the goals. We've always, have goals. We've always had goal scoring defenders and then strikers. Again, the goals should be coming from all departments. It should be coming from the wing backs, full backs, midfielders, defenders, and attackers. That's how you win trophies. Not just you don't just put the pressure on strikers alone. If that makes sense. An excellent goal from Badiasbile. Roger, before we round off, we looked at Chalobah numbers, haven't we? We have, right? And I think he's done well.
What was his dribbles, by the way? What was his dribbling rate?
Let me see. Where can I find that? Top stats. Passes into the final 13. Accurate crosses is 0 out of 2. That's not good. Accurate long balls, but again, that's not his primary position. 1 out of 3. That's a poor. Could do better. Tackles 1, 2 out of 2. That's excellent. Clearance is 3. Headed clearance 1. Interceptions 2. Recoveries 4. That's for me is a high. Dribbled past one time. Ground duels 1. a 2 out of 3. Ariel Doos 1, 0 out of 4. Oh, that's poor. So nothing about his dribbles here. Usually, I don't think they have that category here in their stats. Who was this? A player that came to mind? I want us to look at Gallagher. Where is he? He's 8.2 rated, and a lot of people are still condemning him. As much as I don't think he was perfect, but I think he was effective. And JC and I did say during the pregame show, hate or love Gallagher, he's the sort of player we need right now because you get commitment from him, no matter the situation. And let's start by talking about his goal, Roger. I've already done that during the start of the show. He didn't just head it down straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. It was a flick, and intentionally. That's with the intent to direct the ball towards the end of the other goalpost, and that was exactly what happened. That was why the goalkeeper was rooted, couldn't do anything about it. I think we have to give him a lot of credit for again his contribution to us winning that game, because that goal, you can say, calmed our nerves, the nerves of the players on the pitch. What do you think, Roger?
It was a beautifully taken goal. I mean, he looked like a number 9. You know, it looked like, you know, from the neck up, as if Giroud had headed that, Olivier Giroud.
And recognize the fact that he had to come from behind of the defender to stick his head out. Yeah, and that's something we haven't seen from lots of our players.
Yeah, listen, he is criticised, and quite fairly, for his lack of, shall we say, technical first touch, which is not his strong suit, right? In fact, I'm watching the game while speaking to you, and the ball arrives to him, and he doesn't trap it very well. So that's lovely in the second half. But you know what? He does so much more than, you know. Listen, it's not his department. Can he improve? Yes, he can with his technical ability. However, he does things that his colleagues, who are vastly more superior, technically speaking, cannot do, and that is score with all parts of the body, namely right foot, left foot, and head. And he's shown that throughout his very short, brief career. So, in addition to, you know, being productive, you know, bringing energy, willing to do the dirty work, he's a player that every team needs, and he has a ceiling, and he can only get better if he stays healthy and avoids major injuries.
And if he gets a coach that will look beyond his industry and understand that he can help him become better.
Yeah, an example would be Mount, because they're cut from the same cloth, in my opinion. They're very similar players in their traits, how they play, how they conduct. So I think Mount has a better first touch.
He's the more technically gifted of the two, but still hasn't reached the height I know he's capable of reaching due to lack of proper coaching.
Yeah, right. Listen, Gallagher and Mount throughout a healthy season, shall we say, are capable of getting, shall we say, 7 to 10 goals each if they play enough minutes, and you know, whether it's all competitions, obviously. So these players can be productive, statistically speaking, and also in categories that you cannot statistically, you know, count, and that would be, you know, how shall I put this? You know, running, I think, sprints.
Yeah, they do a lot from again in areas where you can say easily quantify.
Yes, exactly. But by the way, I want to say that I was really pleased with Mudryk's corners too. For the most part, they were deep. They beat the first man, which we've seen invariably this whole season has not been the case. I think that was pleasing also. However, but no, listen, I think when a player has a bad game, he has a right to be criticised constructively, and accordingly, when that player has a good game, I think he deserves all the praise that is heaped upon him. And I think this is a case where I think this does well for his. He looked like he was playing for Palace. Let's put it that way. He looked good. This is the kind of game that he's capable of producing. He was all over the place. I thought Gallagher had as did quite a few players. Yes, I know we were.
He's the second highest rated, so no surprise.
Yeah, he stuck out. You know, from from the eye test, I thought he had an outstanding game. Yes, this isn't Real Madrid we're playing. However, you still have to show up. And this is a team that has been in form and has upset other teams. So listen, on any given day in this league, any team can beat anybody. Just ask Arsenal. And I thought he played and stood out amongst his peers yesterday. I was pleased for him.
Yeah, I'm pleased too. The second highest rated player with 8.2. No, actually, he measures Badiasbile, but Badiasbile probably, I think, did more that he won the man of the match. That's according. Let me just say, fourth most man of the match. I don't know who's Premier League's man of the match, but the two of them they were excellent on the day. Let me see what else do we have here. Great header from Gallagher. I have to say that. And this says, who do you think would suit the middle center? The middle center back position in the back three system. Colwell, but I think Badiasbile will live better. Colwell in the left center back area. Colwell, Badiasbile seemed like the more cool-headed of the two, but we need more time. I can't just jump to that conclusion now. Suits the middle center back position in a back three system. Either of them can lead the back line, but we need more time to draw that conclusion. But both can also play on the left-hand side, so that's good for us. Gallagher is a squad player. He should not be starting for Chelsea FC if we want to compete for anything next season. Constantine Dante, that's your opinion. That's the thing. I think he still has a lot to learn, and if he can learn, then he can be a starter. Really, we need a mix of those things. You need a mix of industry pace, but I just want I want him to do more than just his industry and his pressing ability and his energy and all that. We move on from that. Let's look at his numbers. 6.9 from Mudryk, even though he didn't finish the game, that showed reflects what you just said a few minutes ago, Roger. He was good on the day. Gallagher played 90 minutes, goal scored, one, an excellent goal. Accurate passes, 38 out of 43, 88% pass accuracy. That's not bad at all. Let's see what else we have here. We're going to be rounding off soon, but I'm going to give IBZ a chance. Chances created, one. And what else do we have to look at here? Attack, shot accuracy, 1 out of 1. Touches, 58. Passes into the final third, 3. He lives there, so I'm not surprised that's low. Accurate long balls, 1 out of 1. That's excellent. Dispossessed 1 time. Tackles 1, 2 out of 2. Blocks 1, interceptions 1, recoveries 6. That's a high for an attacking player, really. Ground duels 1, a 4 out of 7, 57%. That's not bad. Aerial duels 1 out of 2, 50%. That's not bad. He was fouled twice and fouls committed 2. I think he did well, and I give him credit. Here we have the Blue Chelsea. We're going to be rounding off in a few minutes. Once IBZ speaks, I'll get Roger's final thoughts. Havertz out is too soft. Doesn't have a stronger fighting spirit. Ball possession, not suitable to play at Chelsea. The same thing with Sterling out. Okay, if that's how you feel, Ziyech will be in Saudi Arabia. I think at this age, if the Saudi opportunity comes, I'd take it. If it was me, I tried to bring home Lukaku. So after all the comments you made, you decided try to bring home Lukaku. If the new manager feels like they can make it work, who am I to blow against the wind? And after all, we'll suck with him. Whether the fan base likes it or not, he comes back. Then that's when the club will decide what to do with him. IBZ, since you just joined, let me get your thoughts and we'll get the final thoughts and round up because we need to support Newcastle United today.
Are you sure,
What
Coach?
are your observations from the game? How do you think?
Big up.
Hello, IBZ. How are you?
The selectness is greatness plus you're an OG here, so I have to let you in. What are your observations from the game yesterday? Why do you think we were able to overcome them? Because they're in a better form than us.
Yeah, big up everyone. Yeah, we finally got.
Big up to you too, brother.
It was a good game. It was good to see Badiasbile outstandingly perform, get on the score sheet. Noni come in, did his thing. Good start. Conor Gallagher as well. I like the effort to come back into the game. And a stroke of genius at the end when Joao Felix comes on. You could say Lampard knew what he was doing. in getting Felix on to score a beautiful
And
orchestration.
He chose violence this morning.
It was a good win, and a win is always put smiles on the face. It was good to see the
It
players
does.
smiling at the end of the game. It was good to see Cesar Azpilicueta go to the fans. The fans,
Now she can see a little less negativity today.
Exactly. So, that is exactly what I personally just want. Just good vibes, letting it through. It's good to wake up and knowing that we won the night before. It's just good. It's a good feeling, and we're not getting relegated. So yeah, we have as many trophies as Arsenal, and we can move. And
But we have more Champions League trophies. We have Champions League trophies. We have the Club World Cup, so we're still bigger.
Exactly. So yeah. Happy days, coach. So all I want now is the smooth transition into the next season. This time last season we were still talking about sanctions, and we got this owner and that owner coming in, and it was still. So this year is now more settled. So get a new manager in for next season. This season has been a write-off. I'll still analyze my expectations going into the summer. The last summer was very, very low, as everyone knows. I didn't expect a lot. This summer may change, but I'm happy. We're not getting relegated. The squad won. We move. Yeah.
I'm gonna come back to you again.
Kepa out.
Sorry?
Kepa Arrizabalaga out.
You and Bobby, right?
Oh,
Bobby. You have a campaign against him. Every goal we concede is his fault.
I'm so sorry, Bobby. Do you think so as well? But yeah, we move.
I'll come back to you in a bit if you're still there. I want to ask you one more question. Then I'll ask Roger, then we can round off. The point is that next season, Chelsea will throw away players who don't contribute enough to the team to play like that, like Havertz, Pulisic, Sterling, Koulibaly, and Aubameyang. I still don't think Koulibaly is going anywhere. I think we're underrating how important is how well he's done. Beautiful game is suspiciously missing. I know we're quiet today. I know where you're going with that. Arsenal have dropped the title to relax. You can say that. And that's Joan. Let me just say your name. Jean Mark Loba. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If this is the first time here, and the Blue Morning Show is a daily show. Coach, everything should be good now. Check your DM. Okay, once I'm done with the show, as I'm watching the Arsenal game, I'll be looking at it. So, Fragile Felix. Yeah, that's what IBZ. He chose violence this morning. You have to have the courage to remodel, to add space and a slot for players like Levi Colwell, Benoit, Lukaku, and Nkunku. I wouldn't go to the extent of making space for Lukaku the way I see it, but if the manager feels like he can make it work, I'll take it. We need goals. Felix is a Gucci Havertz. Wow. Some argument right there. Lukaku is a great player, strong duel, runs fast. If it's tandem, it's just like Lautaro Martinez. If his wings are just dribbling, it's useless. He will be infertile. Wow, what an analogy to use. The combination of RLC, Sterling, Felix for the last goal was the best player I've ever seen this season. I think RLC he did bring. You say he brought some balance to the play. He wasn't so much in a hurry. We saw a bit of calmness in our approach once he was introduced. I like him as a player. I think but I'd rather see him play as an 8 than play deep. But I'm still arguing he's going to be one of the most technically gifted players ever to have come through the Chelsea Academy. Something else let's talk about Mudryk before we talk about that last question. Hopefully I don't forget. Roger, your thoughts on Nani Mudryk, his performance yesterday? To me, he was a breath of fresh air. We saw a direct player who doesn't shy away from taking on the opposition player. Again, you can say some people complain about him being too selfish. He's just 21, and that's very common with players that are of his age, within his age bracket. And I think he will improve with time. But Roger, your thoughts?
Yes. Listen, the end product wasn't there. However, you just stated it for me. He's such a young player that has got very little playing time thus far this season, from what he has done, he has shown that he has strength, upper body strength, speed, technical ability, and even a competent right foot to cross also. Listen, his chemistry and his passing accuracy will come in time once he gets more. I believe he's been trying too hard to try to impress the coach. And listen, I thought he had an outstanding game. He's shown that, like that beautiful turn early in the second half. That was something.
He was a fun on the flesh of those of the Bournemouth defense, wasn't he?
Yes. Listen, I thought he was a threat all game long while he was on the pitch. He's clearly our future by far, and I think the future is bright for him. I think he's if he can stay healthy, and the reason why I say that is because we've been so unfortunate regarding that lately. If he can stay healthy in his career, he has a great future ahead of him. He's got a good long future career. I just thought he was a breath of fresh air.
It was.
He's listen, I was really pleased with so many players. As I said, I showed my concern over our shooting accuracy early on in the game, which was woeful, specifically. Other than that, I was really pleased. That and the lack of closing down from a goalkeeper's perspective. Other than that, I thought we played solidly, regardless of whether we won, draw, or lost the game. I'm just looking at it regardless of the score. I'm looking at concerning our application and how we went about it. Does that make sense? But I'm obviously
it does in so many ways. Let's look at his numbers, then we'll look at what's his name. We'll look at Mudryk's numbers. Then I'll ask the final question. Then we can call it a day. This here says, just give me 1 second. It's loading. Mudryk played how many minutes? He played 76 minutes. That's not bad. Total shots 3. Accurate passes 33 out of 40 out of 43. 77%. Not bad. Let's move down to other points I want to look at. Attack 2 out of 3. Shot accuracy 67%. Not bad. Touches 68. Successful dribble 6 out of 9. That's not bad, really. That's not bad. And in some cases, he had 3 players on him. Passes into the final third 2. Not surprising, he leaves there. Accurate crosses 0 out of 3. That's 4. Which was one of the things, a final product that we did talk about. Not a bad performance. Still defensively, he contributed. Clearance 1, headed clearance 1. Recoveries 4. That's a high from an attacking player. Recoveries, with a dribbled pass 1 time. Duels 1, ground duels 1, 7 out of 13. Not bad. I think it was an excellent performance from him. Input from him. Let's see. How about Mudryk? Let's look at his game 2. He played 75 minutes, 63 minutes, so to speak. 17 out of 8 accurate passes. That's 94%. That's not bad. And it's not like they're all, you could say, him choosing to pass the safer options. He's always penetrating. Expected assists, let's move on from that one. Fantasy point winning need touches 32. Successful dribbles 1 out of 2, 50%. Not bad at all. Passes into the final third 1, not surprisingly because he lived there. Accurate crosses, final product, that's an issue 2, 0 out of 4. Accurate long balls, but the corner kicks that then you can say we didn't score from, you could count like non-accurate, right? Let's not mix it up. Accurate long balls 1 out of 1. That's excellent. Corner kicks 5. That's probably where the lack of the bad accurate crosses come from. Dispossessed 1 time. What else do we have here? Recoveries 3. That's a high. Ground duels 1, 2 out of 4. Not bad. Aerial duels 1 out of 1. 50%. So that's not bad. Roger, I'm going to let you to round up the show for us. I'm going to start from IBC again. IBC, the question I'm going to ask you is this: how we did for us to win the whole of our remaining games before to go into how important is it for us to win the remaining? How many games in total? I think about, I'm not sure how many.
3, 4 more games. I mean, it's very important.
Around 4. So
it's as important as it was in the beginning of the season. More importantly, so now you got a new manager you want to impress. You want to have a little bit of pride, and you want to, with the season we've had, you want to actually finish on positive note, and it will give you the mindset going into next season. If you kind of look at last season, we kind of hobbled away into fourth. We kind of didn't finish as good as we wanted to. That decided on to the pre-season, obviously amidst a lot of changes, and it was just a pattern of a domino effect of failure from there. So hopefully, we finish the season strong, so we have something to build on when everyone meets up again in the summer. Yo, let's go, new mentality, new manager. So it's always as important. So I think these last few games are as crucial if you want to have a bit of pride going into the next season, because we don't want to lose the next 3 of our games or how many of our games and just go back into a slump. Then we just have no enthusiasm going into the summer pre-season. That'll just be a bit, the mood would die down. But if we have an optimism going into, if we string of a few good performances, a lot of optimism for the new manager and for us fans to say, you know what, can give it a go. No destruction of Europe, so anything's possible. So I don't think that the players should just step off the gas because we're safe, so to speak, even though I knew we weren't getting relegated. But yeah, we need to make sure we good performances.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's very important. It sets the tone. Whatever happens now to the end of the season, I think you can argue will play a part. So how we start next season. If they end the season well, then the players will go into the next into the coming season with confidence. We should at least do well. I don't know if there's that possibility for us to win the whole remaining 4 games or so. But Roger, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm actually. I get what IBZ has said, and it's valid, but I'm actually not concerned with the score lines per se. I'm more concerned with how we perform. Because you can dominate a game, you can play really well, and just be unlucky, and opposing goalkeeper can have a career game. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So I'm more concerned about how we perform, if that makes sense.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Performance will be key because it's not a given that we're going to win the remaining. They're all tough games. We still have Newcastle, we still have Manchester United, we still have Manchester City, and then you can say the one that most people on paper will believe that we're capable of winning will be against is it Nottingham Forest, and they play very high octane of football, which means we're going to find it difficult playing against them. But that's, by the way, I'm going to catch up with what we have in the chat and we can call it a day. We have this from Ladipupo Mesala. My bro says we need a better goalkeeper for next season. Yeah, as much as I think we shouldn't blame Kepa for most of the goals we've considered, I think we can do better. But I think he may well end up leaving, except if he agrees to take a pay cut or to accept a new contract with a new construct, in the sense that the new owners have changed the construct of the contract they offer to players, and they would want any player that's renewing to accept that new contract, new format of contract. I think I agree with you. Kepa made fantastic saves yesterday. He was good. Distribution and some good saves. Mudryk is slowly becoming my favorite, my new favorite. Slowly, you say. You have to be specific, really. How do you want to develop young players if they only sit on the bench and only play those players who obviously have a minimal contribution to the team? Good question there. Ken Boy says Mudryk is courageous. I like him taking on players. If he gets a good coach, he will cook. He's already cooking. Maybe cook even more. Remember what I said, if Chelsea still rely on players like Havertz, Pulisic, Sterling, Koulibaly, Aubameyang, who is RSC Ziyech, Chelsea will win 0 titles next season. Okay, and that's your opinion there. Reports say Chelsea is apparently in front of running up for Rafinha. Is this Rafinha of Barcelona? I really don't like that guy that much. I think that's the spelling I'm seeing there. Why is he not using Mendy? I don't know. And I'm not, again, I don't know how to find out for you. Kepa will always cost us. Teams shoot from literally anywhere because they know have a chance. Okay, if that's how you say it. And with that, we come to the end of the show. Thank you to all of you, all the people that had the time to join me on the panel. IBZ, my bro, and Roger, Pop, my bro, also, and Bobby, who was here before but had to leave for personal reasons. And DJ was also here. Thank you so much, DJ, if you can hear me. John Watt, thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us.
Coach.
Sean,
Big
the
up,
New
big
York
up,
guy.
big up.
Thank you.
Big up to you, my brother. Big up Kishan for finding the time to joining us. And big up the Blues, Chelsea. Big up King Soul. I will reach out to you via Instagram immediately if you have initiated the conversation. And big up to you, my bro, Jesse. And who else here? Constantin Dante and the beautiful game. Big up to all of you. I appreciate you all finding time to join the show. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Bye-bye.